Baseball tonight on FS1. The Tigers, who've lost 5 in a row, are trailing 2-0 already to Tampa Bay in the bottom of the first. 2 runs given up early by Framber Valdez. Colorado's lost 6 in a row there at Washington. C.J. Abrams in the Nats has returned tonight after missing 4 games with a sprained ankle. Colorado plays pitcher Kyle Freeland on the IL. That game scoreless bottom of the first. And it's Red Sox at Marlins, scoreless bottom of the second. Coming up in about a half an hour, the White Sox host Texas. White Sox 3.5 games in the lead over the Guardians in the AL Central. Houston fired GM Dana Brown. His contract was nearly up. Teams like the Brewers and Braves are off. The Cleveland Browns named Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. Raiders running back Ashton Genty missed practice after yesterday's sprained ankle. And Puka Nacua, Rams wideout, missed practice again with his groin injury. I'm Steve DeSager.
Elijah, put the camera on me.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Password.
Ack, a dack, a ack.
Enter, brother.
That's right. It is the Odd Couple on a Magic City Monday. By the way, Ephraim, who is in for Rob Parker.
At right tackle from San Diego State, number 74, Ephraim Salaam.
Yeah. Now carry on.
I'll carry on.
Appreciate that.
At this point, Magic City might need to be a sponsor as much as they got. Rob G, over the last month and a half.
I mean, what we doing?
My goodness.
Magic. Let's make it Magic City West.
Yeah, I'm straight on everything else. Just send me some wings. I don't need all the others. Just send me some Lou Williams wings, man. It is the Odd Couple. Ephraim in for Rob. Kelvin Washington on a Magic City Monday. We got a big show lined up for you. On this Monday, of course, 877-99 on Fox. That is the number. You lock that in when you want to call in, hop in on the show. Ephraim Salaam on social media. KW Live for myself on social media as well. Make sure you check us out on YouTube.
Washington.
Thank you. Check us out on YouTube. We're there right now. Now listen, you are 7'3", but why does Cavino want to sit this low? Like, I know I'm not nearly as high.
You gonna raise it up?
Well, I always raise it.
Raise it up, and then I'm gonna raise mine up. So we can...
No, because good. Then you'll be off YouTube. You'll be sitting in the
all right. So
head of me through the ceiling.
So look,
yeah, I feel much better now. And you're a TV guy. You know what it fits.
Yeah,
it looks good now.
I hunch. So now you see what happened.
But I'm a leaner.
Okay, well, so hold on.
All right. You can see all this on YouTube. Go check it out. Just search Odd Couple FSR. You'll find us on YouTube. Elijah will have us up there looking good throughout the show. You can hop in. Shout out to the YouTubians, the Odd Mob. Rob G will read some of your comments throughout the show as well. This hour, man, this show, I should say, we got a lot to get to. Guests as well. We got Garrett Bush coming up next hour, host of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show and creator of The Barbershop. We know we got a lot to talk about with Cleveland. We're going to start there here in just a second as well. And last call the following hour, plus some NBA stuff to get to and NFL headlines as well. Let's welcome in the Odd Couple crew. Couldn't do this show without him. We got Rob G, producer extraordinaire. Oh, see that? Bud Mexican. Yeah, Bud Mexican.
I
there
have
you
the
go.
wall up.
No, don't worry. Don't worry about it.
See how I clap for you there?
You did clap for him. I was waiting on the Bud
No
Mexican.
clap track.
By the way, who shot 132 today? And only 9 holes.
Wow.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Burn the clubs, man.
Yeah.
Do something else.
That's what golf does to you.
Go do something
That
else.
is the most frustrating, man. You get 2 shots, you feel like, what a day.
Go do something else.
We have USC Chris on the board.
Whoop, whoop.
Wait a minute. What is his drop? Oh, USC. Okay. Makes sense. Steve DeSager getting you updated. And, of course,
The man, the myth, the legend.
the man, the myth, the
Hey,
legend.
Steve.
We have Elijah, our social media guru, who will be taking care of
Who
us
is it?
all day. So, Elijah,
Never heard of him.
dang, still ain't heard of him. Whether it be Alex, Shout out to Mary, no longer with us, man. Nobody ever seen
Never heard of them.
Cold out here on these streets.
All right, speaking of cold, let's get to this, Rob G. It must be cold in them Cleveland streets as well when it comes to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, we have a new QB1. It's the guy everyone expected. Deshaun Watson will be the starter. Todd Monken announced it earlier today. And the timing of it, even though it was expected, was interesting because Deshaun Watson went viral over the weekend with some comments he made about the dog pound. So much so he had to apologize about it the first time he met with the media today. Here's his original comments from Saturday.
I mean, I didn't have no reaction. I think the biggest thing is, I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows. It has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think it's a disrespectful thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that. And yeah, just move on.
But don't you think, Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So does that have to do with, what does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
No, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason, so I don't regret anything at all. But, you know, I had different thoughts on how it was going to be, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, sometimes, you know, the tables turn, and I'm patient enough because I'm a child of God to, you know, wait for that time to change. So I'm not tripping on it.
Well, he is tripping on it. Let's start. I mean, big tripping, too. I'm talking like shoes. Your kids leave shoes in the middle of the floor and you walking through at night, didn't see them.
I trip on it all the time. All the time.
You trip on the backpack they left down there. You're going to get a midnight snack. You know what I'm talking about. Deshaun Watson is tripping on it. And I understand from the more – I'll start with this one. The injury, I can understand that stuck in the back of your head. Well, I'm down here down bad going through it, and you guys are applauding and you're cheering me. So whether you agree with the fan or not, but I can understand that from a human standpoint. Man, I was down at my worst physically, and you guys cheered. Clearly, that's still right there for him. And he said, Ephraim, well, I thought it might be a different outcome. Well, why? And I mean this sincerely. Why? What outcome is there that the Cleveland Browns fans, mind you, replaced Deshaun Watson with Deshaun Jenkins? I don't care. What success have the Browns fans kind of had, you know what I'm saying, where they're just overjoyed right now? So I say that to say you came with personal baggage. We all know what that is. You came with that, and along with the biggest at the time guaranteed money ever. So you come with two things where they're like, wait, we have that guy, not Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, guys who have been great throughout their career, this money. The first time somebody got that kind of guaranteed money was Deshaun Watson, who, by the way, was coming with crazy baggage. He gets here, does not perform well, then he's injured, doesn't perform well, then he's injured again, and then he looks bad in preseason. So I'm saying, at what point were there supposed to be cheating? He didn't come out there with Bone Thugs and Harmony from Cleveland. Machine Gun Kelly, help me out. Somebody else from Cleveland was something to give us some hope and optimism. Deshaun Watson hasn't given the Cleveland Brown fans, nor has the organization really, anything to be excited about. And I think that was a bit naive. Now, personally, I told this to Rob G. I get, and you know this, he's been a quarterback now in this NFL from a professional standpoint for like 8 years. You would think he would know, oh, man, the fans are booing. Yeah, listen, it's been rough around here lately. Not going to lie, it's been tough, it's been difficult, but I'm really excited about this chance this season to turn some things around and turn those jeers into cheers. Now, you can go in the car, cry and cuss them out and yell at and tell your wife how mad you are. What is to gain when you go to the public and the fans who have not received anything to cheer about and tell them they shouldn't be like that, Ephraim? Where's the gain? You know this. You've been a pro. You've been even aside from NFL. You cover sports. There's no win when you disrespect your own fans who, by the way, have zero reason to be excited. And not to mention, lastly, we'll get into this side of it, Monken making his decision. It goes back to what I've been saying. We'll talk about this part a little bit more in depth, but just I think with the Shador, I get he hasn't been great. I get he's not the return of, whatever you want to say. But I think you can at least convince yourself as a fan there's some semblance of hope. I don't know. It wasn't great last year, but dang it, he's young. He's getting better. All the reports are he's outplayed him in training camp. And, like little things where you can say, look good in preseason, this last one, where you can say, at least as a fan, I have something to be hopeful. Deshaun Watson, you've seen it. It hasn't been great. He's been injured, coming off Achilles. You know, the drama, the baggage. And now he's checking me, the fan base. That just doesn't bode well. And I'm a little shocked that somebody who, if nothing else, has simply been a professional quarterback for years would be that naive to think that fans are going to be some well-respected fans when they have nothing in Cleveland alone and you yourself have not provided them anything.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
In the history of sports, has a fan base booed someone who was good? Like really good?
No.
Like how many fan bases boo their Pro Bowl quarterback?
Well, if he throws a few turnovers at the game or two.
No, I'm just saying in terms of, has Deshaun Watson ever been good in a Cleveland Browns uniform? So when you talk about, when he says we know why they're booing because it's personal, well, you're absolutely right. It's personal, but not for the reason you think it's personal. You think it's personal because of the things you went through off the field, right? The cases, whatever that was. That's not the case, because there have been plenty of players who've had off-field issues, who've been loved by fans, so much so that people were mad that their fans, that fans still love this person who did something that they deemed was, terrible.
I would like to offer you some names.
Right? And so the only way to ingratiate yourself into a fan base is to be good. And since Deshaun Watson hasn't been good in a Cleveland Browns uniform, then you can't automatically say the reason they don't like me is because of what I did or my past. No. The reason they don't like you is what you haven't done and doesn't seem like you can do. These are two different things. He's looking at it through a lens that he's created himself. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say every fan in the stands that are booing him, they're not booing him from a moral standpoint. I'm sure they are. But say if there was 1,000 moral police in the stands and 68,000 diehard fans who just want to win. If Deshaun Watson was a Pro Bowler and they were making the playoffs, would we even hear the 1,000 boos?
No, not at all. You wouldn't even know they were there.
And so he has to be careful with how he's rewriting his story, how he's looking at his story. Because the Deshaun Watson that was in Houston that led the league in passing and was a Pro Bowler, MVP candidate, we haven't seen him since he left Houston. And so you didn't show up after the suspension, after getting the guaranteed money in Cleveland, and immediately took them from worst to first, or worst to second, or worst to third.
Right.
They've stayed in the basement. And then when you had the injury, now I don't agree with cheering for players who get hurt like that, but there's resentment built up. There's resentment built up. The resentment is not just towards you, it's towards the ownership.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
It's toward the coaching staff, right? So you got the brunt of it because essentially you're the face of the franchise when you're the quarterback making more guaranteed money than any player in NFL history. So if you're thinking that it's a personal attack, it is a personal attack. It's personally being your play is being personally attacked, or lack of play. You haven't been a very good quarterback in years, and I mean years. I think you've only started 19 games for the Cleveland Browns, and they've paid you $200 million. Well, no, they actually paid you all out because
they have to.
No, he's only making $1.3 million this year because they paid. They're all paid up.
Paid up, but they
The $46 million you were making, they gave you the majority of that. The 44 point whatever. They've already gave that to you, and they put it in the signing bonus. So you're only making 1.3 in actual annual salary this year, and this is the last gasp, quite possibly the last money you'll ever make from an NFL team. So you have to go into this thinking, I have to somehow miraculously breathe life back into my career, or this will be your last 4 or 5 games you start if you get off to a bad start. That's the reality of the situation. Don't worry about the fans, buddy. Seriously, don't worry about them.
And don't worry, and that's what I mean when I say, dude, you've been a pro for years. You're worried about the fans in the preseason game. You get what I mean? Like this.
No, but you were right. He's still holding on to it when he got hurt. So
and,
that's all he's.
And you mentioned it.
Yeah.
There's a mixture where, yes, we bring that up because you haven't been good. So it's like if you you did something with you and your lady and she mad about something and you moved on. She holding on to it and then you ain't been doing right. Nah, she's going to bring it back up. Like, yeah, so it's sitting there. It is sitting there. We're not naive to the fact that, yes, fans do remember that. But there I throw some names at you. You know who had a really doggone career when he was in Pittsburgh to the tune of a couple championships and some drama? Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, how about that?
But fans were there for him. They loved him. I'm going to give you one who even was booed like crazy when they got him, but when he became one of the best players in the league and comeback player, we all forgot and they loved him, Michael Vick.
Mike Vick.
They didn't even want him in Philly. Remember all the boos?
No, they didn't want him until they wanted him.
And then Andy Reid got him cooking again.
Until they wanted him.
And then absolutely we
Then
want
they
him.
gave him another $100 million.
Then they gave him another $100 million. And mind you, all of a sudden, he became the poster child of like, dang, this might have been what happened if he had good coaching from the jump. You know, if he was locked in, obviously kind of changed his mindset for that. So my point is, if you go out there and produce, we have seen people who've done worse still be cheered instead of jeered. You lock in on that. Stop worrying about, they didn't cheer, and then they didn't boo me, and then they booed me the one time. And dude, just give them something to be happy about.
This is what I know.
What is that?
We love a redemption story.
We do.
But we hate a story with no redeeming quality. We hate a character with no redeeming quality.
Well, is it redeeming for the other quarterback at all? What are they doing with Shador? We'll tell you that on the other side. It is the odd couple of Magic City Monday. Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam, who's in for Rob. Rob getting a little vacay. Allegedly stayed in L.A. I don't know. We got to find out. What do you think, Rob G? I don't know. He was supposed to go somewhere else. He said, I'm going to stay in L.A. We'll see if he did. It's the odd couple, Fox Sports Radio.
But yeah, Fernando Mendoza had his primetime debut, his second preseason game. He went 8 for 15, 86 yards, an ugly pick six and a sack in one half of work against the Houston Texans. So we'll call it mixed reviews for the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah. I don't know. I know people in Las Vegas really excited, Kelvin, because I'm not.
Well, ask Rob G. That's his team.
I know Tom Brady. That was the guy they chose, and whatnot. And I get it. He won a national championship. He played great, right, last year with Indiana. But I'm not convinced that he's going to be that guy. And people talk about all the time. Just because you're the first overall pick, we've seen plenty of guys wash out and not make it and be a bust. I was always skeptical of the NFL with the idea of the Raiders and Mendoza not having any national games. Like Kelvin, to me, that's just since when?
Right.
You don't want to see the number 1 overall pick?
That's a good point.
I'm serious. And people are like, oh, well, they don't think he's going to start, and so they're not putting any games on, and they can flex in. I'm sorry. The idea that he's the first overall pick, and they're not sure. I don't even know. Are they going to start him, or are they going to make him sit and wait? I mean, Rob G, you're the Raiders guy. What are they saying? Because it sounds like it's mixed.
Oh, no, big seat. He's going to have a big seat.
Oh, they're making it seem like there's a competition, but, Kirk Cousins didn't even dress yesterday. So that kind of tells you all you need to know.
I call him Kirk, your cousin, not mine. He is definitely going to be starting. Number one, it just when you look at this Raiders team, I mean, Rob G, you know that's your squad. They're so young, Rob. There's one thing to just be bad, and we know in the NFL sometimes bad isn't horrible, right? Sometimes it's just a few plays didn't go your way, and now you're 7-10, or you're 8 and something, or 6-11 when you really weren't that bad. And the next year you turn around, at least you're a better squad. Then there's sometimes you were just putrid and you got a lot to figure out. And the Raiders are closer to the latter. I mean, they have a lot to figure out. They're very young. They're trying to get some nice pieces. They're hoping Agenti works out at the running back. They still got Bauer. They got some pieces on offense. They hope that Mendoza eventually will get there. But Rob, this team, they ain't there yet. Tom Brady ain't walking through that door as the quarterback. Now, he might walk through as a minority owner, but he's got a lot of work to do. And if you're able to watch some of the plays, he made some nice throws, which is why, obviously, that's why he was the number one pick. He looked comfortable at some times, got the ball out, got the offense moving. And that throw across the middle, the interception was terrible. And you're going to learn that number one thing you hear all the time, the speed is much faster in the pros. That little cross body, across the middle of the field pass you normally can do in college, you ain't doing that in the pros. And so he's going to learn that for sure. But I definitely expect a slow roll. If you're Raiders and you say and you wholly believe this is your guy, then there's no rush. You're hoping to have him for a greater decade and a half. And so they're not going to roll him out there.
I'm in a different school. If you can play and make an impact, you should play. The only way you really learn to play in the National Football League is going out there. All the people, the great players, no one's putting them on a leash. No one's telling them we're going to pump the brakes on you. You just go out there and you learn. Peyton Manning was on a bad Indianapolis team. He threw 1 million interceptions, right? Peyton Manning wasn't Peyton Manning year one. Go back and look. He almost threw 30 interceptions.
He did.
His rookie year. So you can't explain or tell me that the best way is to sit. Now we got the Aaron Rodgers example, but there's a reason Aaron Rodgers sat. You had a future Hall of Famer there, still able to play. That's the only reason Aaron Rodgers didn't play. Not that he couldn't play. Everybody said in practice, this guy's got it. But he had to sit up 3 years behind Brett Favre, a Hall of Famer. Kirk Cousins is no Hall of Famer. Kirk Cousins was lousy in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins gets you nothing. Kirk Cousins gives you wasted snaps. It's wasted snaps.
But
I would rather this kid play, take his lumps, and if they're bad, get another top pick. I don't want to be in the middle of the pack because I have a middling end of his career quarterback who's just going to keep us afloat and win enough games so that we don't get the number one pick or top pick again. That's what I'm saying. I want all or nothing.
Sports Radio, it's the Odd Couple, Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam, who's in for Rob Parker on the Magic City Monday. Hopefully your weekend was great. By the way, checking in with you. Your weekend was good?
It was great.
Kids
ain't
have
weekend.
You running around
I had opportunity to go
park?
to a preseason game, went to the Rams game.
Nice.
Great friends of mine invited me to, come in. And the suite, they had a suite.
Okay.
And we all rode together. So, the parking pass that comes with the suite, you just drive right on in there. You get out.
That's crucial.
They take the car and you walk right on.
Nice.
Now that's the only way I can go back.
Well, we know how you do.
No.
We knew how the Salams do. Y'all can't just go to Universal.
But I can. I can. I'm easy.
It's fam.
My kids have been spoiled. Like when we went the first time they've gone to the Laker game. Right? Like now we can't.
You can't. I can't.
We can't go from row A or courtside to 17.
No, you can't do that. Cover Rob G's ears up too, because that's the same thing. My kids have just been fortunate where I've worked over the last.
We work really hard, man,
years.
just to be able to have access to stuff like that.
I'm trying to get whatever, Rob G, because when you come and your daughter's having the time of their life in these particular places, and you're gonna be looking at me, why'd you set?
I'm still waiting on my Dodger invite, man.
I'm working on that.
We like Dodgers. My family like Dodgers.
Sound like my daughter.
What we doing?
I always had to get at one of my daughters the other day, Rob G. Said, when we haven't gone to Dodger games. I turned around so fast, I said, hold on now. Y'all have gone to more.
It's my birthday. I decide when we're going to go.
Exactly.
So you should have said to him.
That's what I should have said. I thought about going.
You can't unspoil people.
I know.
Can't unspoil them.
Man, I don't know how to figure
Just
that
think
out.
about it like that. I treat my kids like I would have wanted to be treated when I was growing up. I treat my kids, I spoil them like I would have wanted to be spoiled. Now, not overly. They don't get everything.
Okay.
Number one, you got to earn everything you get.
That's fair.
But number two, if you earn it, then you get it.
All right. I'm with you. Mine are a little younger, but I'm there too. Rob,
it's coming.
I know Rob
and
G,
you got
big spoil
girls.
gang. Yeah, he said facts. I can read your lips. Said facts. I know you big spoil. Trust me, I've heard him.
Why not?
I heard him on the phone. He's the person. He has heard me a couple hey a few times. I have never in 2 years working with him ever heard him be like, no, put it.
What's that you want, babe? Of course.
Never once.
Of course you can.
No, just can you not slap me in the face next time?
Oh wow.
Don't hit daddy.
Is that what we're doing?
Just don't hit me and get whatever you want.
Yeah, just don't hit me. I'll be like, Roger, you better put some hey-heys up
Well,
in
we
there.
are black, though.
Yeah.
So, you and I.
He was.
Racist.
He gave his black card in. Yeah, something happened. It was like Cooper Flagg and Caitlin Clark. Did you see what he just did? Ridiculous. All right, real quick. We just talked about the Deshaun Watson, and I think we're on the same page with that. But I said this to Rob Parker last week. Let me throw this at you. By the way, I want to say this quickly. Every day, truck and bus drivers are out there keeping America moving and working to keep our roads safe. But large and heavy vehicles don't stop like cars, so they need more time and a lot more space. So remember, stay back, stay safe. America's pros rely on you, paid by for FMCSA. I was saying this to Rob. I do think if you're monkening in this situation, there's a way where it almost looks like stalling the Shador elongates the hope. What I mean is if Deshaun comes out first few weeks, first 2 games on the road, it looks hard. You come back, you're 0-2, 0-3, or 1-3 or something, and he's not playing great. You got some pieces. The team has some pieces on both sides of the ball. Here or there. They got some pieces, man.
Every team has pieces.
Right.
But what type of puzzle are we putting together with said pieces?
Listen, they're not the puzzle master. Okay, this ain't gonna be the best pieces together. But what I mean is,
let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
This will clear everything up for me.
Okay.
If Bo Nix, was the starting quarterback in Cleveland, could they make the playoffs in that division with their current roster?
Probably not.
Then they don't have pieces.
Probably not.
Yeah. Denver had pieces.
But I also don't know if Bo
Denver had pieces.
No, they had pieces, but I don't know.
New England
You
had
saying
pieces.
Bo Nix makes me – I don't know if Bo – like, are we overstating Bo Nix right
Drake
now?
May.
No. Well, hold on. Either way. No, let me
Right?
just see. I need to see another year of him.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm throwing quarterbacks out there who've had playoffs success and who've taken teams to the playoffs. And if Cleveland has the type of roster where they're just a quarterback away, which I don't think they are.
Just a quarterback away would be the Texans.
You're correct.
That there's a few
so
teams
when you
out
say
there.
pieces, they don't have enough pieces to form or put a puzzle together where it spells out winning.
Well, the winning, and this is what I've said. What's the old adage? If you got two quarterbacks, you ain't got one kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that Shedeur, obviously he doesn't look like he's going to be some Hall of Famer, but we don't know yet. And I think that was my whole point, was that with Deshaun Watson, I feel like I've seen it all. Now, is he going to make some throws here and there? Yes. Is he going to make a good run, scramble, pick up a 3rd and 6? Yes. Will they win the game or two? Probably. But what I'm saying is Shedeur offers me more of the unknown. Like, let me see what I can get. And it may end up being terrible, but at least I have that to see. Let me see what I get. Let me see what has been unearthed as he's gotten better, as he's been a pro now for a full year. He's gotten some better training, better coaching.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
How many games do you think the Cleveland Browns want to win this year?
I will answer that on the other side. Right now, Steve DeSager is getting you updated. Hey, Steve.
I'll just guess it's not many, but we'll get an exact number shortly.
Don't ruin the tease. How do you know it wasn't going to be 12?
By the way, you guys have seen the Cleveland Browns 2 exhibitions, right? We haven't seen the practices, but we've seen the exhibitions. The offense moved with the other guy at quarterback.
Well, we'll get to that. We will get to that, Steve. Stop making sense over there.
All right. Browns did name Deshaun Watson as their starting QB. Cleveland officially cut tight end Daquan Wright, by the way, who reportedly will play for LSU now once he clears waivers. He played for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. Raiders running back Ashton Genty missed practice after yesterday's sprained ankle. Cardinals first-round running back Jeremiah Love is still out this week with a high ankle sprain. Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors took part in team drills without the non-contact jersey now. He's coming back from a torn ACL last year. Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua missed practice again with a groin injury. He worked on a side field. First-round wide receiver of the Eagles, Mekhi Lemon, returned to full practice today after injuring his hamstring 3 weeks ago. And the Texans acquired wide receiver Kayshon Boutte from New England for safety Jalen Reed. New Orleans signed kicker Daniel Carlson. 49ers owner Jed York was arrested in Ohio on engaging in prostitution charges. He pleaded no contest and paid fines and got a 2-day sentence. Portland Trailblazers guard Shaden Sharp will reportedly miss 6 months with a torn meniscus. He averaged 21 points per game last season, playing 50 games. Sharp is starting a 4-year contract extension this year. 2 WNBA games tonight, including shortly Golden State at a Minnesota team that's not only won 6 in a row. The Minnesota Lynx are 31-7. To Major League Baseball, Houston fired GM Dana Brown. His contract was nearly up. There's a ball game on FS1 tonight. Detroit, which has lost 5 in a row, is down 2-0 to Tampa Bay in the 4th inning. Rays got 2 in the 1st off Tigers starting pitcher Framber Valdez. At Miami, Marlins 1-0 over the Red Sox in the bottom of the 3rd. Rockies at Nationals scoreless in the top of the 3rd. The Rockies with the worst record in Major League Baseball, 50-80, and they've lost 6 in a row. Back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Odd couple.
Thanks, Steve.
Kelvin Washington. Thanks, Steve. On a Magic City Monday, Ephraim's in for Rob, and want to get to this, what you were just asking me. Look, listen, they want to, what is it, March for Arch? Whatever they want to do. What else was another one we can come up with for Arch?
We are going to crash the car for CJ Carr.
Oh, okay.
We are going to win less for Dante Moore.
Dante Moore, I get it. I was waiting on the rhyme, but I got that one. So yes, I'm with you on that. And if they feel like
win less for more.
That's right.
If they feel like they don't have a quarterback in Watson or Shedeur.
They don't.
But so then, yes, they're not trying to win a whole bunch.
Okay.
And maybe there is something that they feel like with Shedeur, maybe we win 5 games, 6 games. With Deshaun, we win 2 or 3.
Yeah, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to galvanize your fan base for a Shedeur Sanders, which they already love. They already love the guy, his lineage, his father, the way he is in the media, the way he is in the community. And there's value there. There's value in Shedeur that they don't want to waste, right? And so we know at some point he's going to play this year.
Agreed.
You kind of want to be really bad, like you want to be so far gone, but you also don't want to ruin his value that we don't know what that is yet, right? Like, so,
are you saying like maybe he looks all right and somebody says, "Hey, I'll trade for him"?
Yeah, like doesn't look good, and because you don't have a roster around him, this is why when we talked the last time we were on, we talked about Kirk Cousins and Mendoza in Vegas, and I was adamant about if you don't have the right roster, you don't need this young quarterback to go out there and play right now. You need to work on the team, the puzzle pieces, before you let this guy who's going to be the face of your quarterback or your franchise for the next decade plus, you need to make sure there's a soft place to land there.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is not, you're going to do more harm than good. You're going to put him behind the 8 ball. And why do that?
Well, if you and I would agree on that, because me and Rob got into it last week about that. He just put him in. If he's so good, put him in. I said, dude, they have one of the youngest rosters.
You don't want that.
They got a whole new system. They don't, like, why would I burn them out right now?
This is what you have to prove to me first before I put a young quarterback in the game. Your offensive line can protect him. If your offensive line can't protect him, don't put him out there, because he won't be able to get the necessary reads, the necessary types of plays that he's going to need to build on being great.
Mm-hmm.
That offensive line play is paramount to any young quarterback becoming who they desire to be.
I mean,
and who the team needs them to be.
I said, do you remember David Carr?
Look, man,
PTSD.
I came in at David's last year at the end of that. The year before I got there and started, they had given up 76 sacks or 67 sacks, something wild. 6-7.
Right. And you got kids.
They don't even say it. Oh, Dad, come on, that's so last year. I'm still doing the joke, and they're like, yeah, Dad, that's you sold right there, Dad. But I got there, and it was funny, man, because something I noticed as an offensive lineman, when a quarterback runs out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, that's a sack.
Yes.
So I remember we were in a game, and then the offensive line didn't give up any sacks. But then on the sheet, it was 3 sacks.
Okay.
And Gary Kubiak kind of called him out, right, and was like, hey, man, these guys are busting their butts, right? But sometimes quarterbacks love their numbers and completions and passing percentage. That tends to – if you run out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage 3 times, 4 times in a game, or, 5 times in a season, like that, those are the types of things that you can avoid. And so you don't want to put a quarterback in a situation where bad habits become their only habits. And bad habits, after being unchecked for years, are almost – David Carr was beyond talented.
Mm-hmm.
He could make every throw. He was mobile, but they really didn't put a line in front of him for the first 5 years of his career.
Right.
He developed so many bad, and it's not disparaging to him because he was super talented. There was just no infrastructure in terms of Gary Kubiak called me when he got the head coaching job and said, hey, you want to come out to Houston and show these guys how to play offensive line in terms of the scheme that we play.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a zone scheme and they were more of a man and power scheme. And I was like, 100%, I'm in. And the year I started, the first year, it went from 67 sacks, I think it was, to 42. And then that next year, it was down to 23. We tied for the least in the league with the Indianapolis Colts. That's what happens. That's what happens. So if you don't have that level of offensive line, hey, man, no, bro, you go hang back over there.
Right.
Nobody wants to see you running around making ill-advised throws.
And I'll give you an example of a guy who's early part of the mid of his career. What I mean is he's been in the league for some years, but you're still young. Justin Herbert. Did you see him last in playoffs? The man said hike and ran.
He had to. When you don't have any offensive tackles, they had you and me currently right now playing tackle.
You know how bad that is?
That's really bad.
The way my knee is set up.
And I used to play. And I'm like, I got nothing for you, brother.
And that's why, and that was the one caveat for him that Rob G knows we would talk about. I would say I had to stall him out a little bit this year.
You have to.
Because this year I'd never seen someone genuinely, not a running quarterback, not a quarterback who we know, okay, he's going to take this is what he does. Say hike and go. One drop back step and go, I'm out.
Watching the Chargers last year made you realize, I guess just being big doesn't equate to being a serviceable offensive lineman. Mm-hmm. It is the more and more I think about it and watch it, I'm even amazed that I was able to do it for as long as I was doing it at the level I was doing it, because it's one of the toughest things in the world to do.
It's every play you're in on it, whether we run it, we're passing.
It's really, and you just watching the young players do it now. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit, technique is everything. And if you don't come from a system that teaches that technique and they throw you out there early, it could be detriment. It could be a detriment to your career and to your team's success.
Looking at this, last question before we break here. I expect a nice improvement in every category for Shedeur. Last year, 57% completion
Can't
percentage.
get it done.
1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Can't get it done.
Nope. None of that. 68.1 QB rating.
Nope.
None of that gets it done.
None of that says starting quarterback. None of that says, hey, you get another shot.
Yeah. I expect that completion percentage to get up to the low, 62-ish. That's what I expect. Yards, that one depends obviously on how many games he's getting. But my point is I expect his numbers to improve. I expect him to be more comfortable, obviously getting in a better situation now, having a full, training camp, new coach, new system. And I just expect him to play and perform better, whether they want that or not, whether, as you mentioned, are they in the march for Arch? Are they just happy with saying, look, coach, don't worry about it. We just brought you in. We okay being terrible because the ownership has a great relationship with the Mannings, and maybe they want Arch and all that good stuff.
I don't know if the Mannings want
Brown, Cleveland.
We know old Archie will come in there and be like, hey,
not my grandson.
We're not doing that. We're going back to college again.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he could do that.
Oh, he will do it.
Yeah.
They're not going to set him up for failure. I can promise you that.
Yeah, you can go back even if you want a team. We're going to talk about that too a little bit. I want to get your thoughts on that. You can just, hey, yo, I'm out. Where you going? What you going to lunch? No, I'm finna go back.
I'm going back to English class, man. I'm trying to get my degree.
Yeah, I'm going to go and head back to the dorm rooms. Wait, what? You got a whole condo? Yeah, I'm
a lit major.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to get this dorm room real quick. All right, on the way, you were making some faces when Steve DeSager was giving his award-winning update there.
Yeah,
about Jed York and some things that were happening.
Okay.
I would love to give you an update on that.
That's a hell of a tease.
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna update you on that
tease.
It is the Odd Couple on a Magic City Monday. Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam. Stick with your boys, Fox Sports Radio.
Rob G, Joe Burrow had something to say, and I'm not buying it.
Yeah, Joe Burrow has been, if you ask Jamar Chase, pissed off all training camp. He has this edge about him. His expectations are high. He's holding everyone to a higher standard than ever. He compared this group to the 2019 LSU Tigers, of course, had the best season ever in college football history.
Oh, yeah.
And earlier today, a reporter finally asked him, like, Joe, you kind of been on edge. You look like you're angry. Are you just feeling the pressure? Is it now or never in Cincinnati? Take a listen to Joe's response.
I'm trying to put it out into the world. I'm trying to manifest it. I'm trying to show our guys the urgency that I have and that I want us to have as an organization to go and make it happen. You can keep pushing it down the road, or you can talk about it now and say this is the year. I'm tired of saying next year. This is it. Life is too short to keep pushing things down the road, and I'm trying to instill some urgency and some intensity in everybody to go and be great every day and try to go make it happen.
Okay, Joe Burrow, I think you're a fantastic quarterback, but I'm not buying what you're selling. If it's now or never, guess what I'm going to say? It's never. It's never. The Cincinnati Reds have a better chance of winning the World Series than the Bengals have of winning the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? Joe Burrow and your fine receivers and the offense and all that, I love it. I love the speak, and the fans are like, yeah, Joe's pissed. He's fired up. It's now or never. They've been saying that in Cincinnati since Moby Dick was a guppy, and they still haven't won. And guess what, Joe Burrow? You ain't winning no Super Bowl. It's great you got there. I give you all the credit in the world. That franchise couldn't win a playoff game. But have you looked at your defense? Has it improved that much? It is because time and time again, I've seen you throw 9 touchdowns in a 2-game stretch against Baltimore, lost both of those games. The defense is not there. I would understand Rob G, Kelvin, if he was a quarterback and felt like they missed a window like C.J. Stroud, who had a Super Bowl winning defense, and he didn't deliver. That would be different. If he was on the Texans, I'd be all about it. Last year, the Bengals, you ready? Ranked 31st in total defense, 380.9 yards allowed per game. 30th in scoring defense, giving up almost 29 points a game. At one point, they allowed 27 points and 350 total yards over an 8-game stretch. Kelvin, did you hear that? Over an 8-game stretch. A mark which had never been done before in the history of the National Football League. I know there have been some offseason moves. I know they've drafted some players. I'm sorry. When I think of teams coming out of the AFC and in the mix to get to the Super Bowl, even with Joe Burrow, it's going to be a never for me because I don't see this year all of a sudden, because he says it, Kelvin, means that things have changed that dramatically.
If it's now or never, I agree with the never if it's simply those. But I will say this. I get his sentiment because we know he's coming from a guy, Rob G mentioned it. He had one of the greatest collegiate years we've ever seen. I think it was 50 touchdown passes. I mean, it was lights out every single week to the tune of a national championship and so on and so forth. So I think a guy who has won, we talked about this last year, Rob. Remember when he said, man, I'm getting beat up. I'm hurt. He's gotten sacked more than Andrew Luck did throughout his first 80-something games. I mean, this guy has gone through it. And so I'm looking at a guy, remember he said he is not even having fun anymore. So I think he's looking and saying, I want to be more like the greats, you know, the Joe Montanas, heck, even an Aaron Rodgers in the sense of at least he got one. Then I want to be a Dan Marino. I got there, and I'm good, and our offense is great, and I'm a guy who's capable of being an MVP. You mentioned it, Rob, a couple seasons ago. If his defense decided to play a little bit, he could have been an MVP. But all of a sudden, he doesn't want to be remembered as the guy that could have been, that should have been, that would have been, but never was. And I think that's why he's placing urgency, because people have the tendency to go, well, look how good he is. They'll figure it out. Man, you might have the best receiver in the game. You might have the best receiver tandem in the game. Between those two and Joe Burrow, that offense should be, yeah, but it could account for nothing. Kelvin, Washington, Ephraim, Salaam, and for Rob, enjoying a little vacay time. I should check in with him to see if he actually stuck to his word. Ephraim is stuck around here. He's been all over. He said he was supposed to be in like Seattle or Vancouver or something, and he was like, "No, I'm gonna just stay in L.A."
Did he rent like a Winnebago or something like that?
No, I forgot why he was going up there. I think he's wanted some solitude.
Just driving the coast.
Yeah, now he's at home sending us dirty jokes at 11 a.m.
Oh, we got it. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I was like, thanks, Rob.
Well, that does lead to, some of them led to this conversation we're about to get into. Very perfect timing, Rob G. By the way, if you missed any of today's show, be sure to catch the podcast. Just search The Odd Couple wherever you get your podcast. Please follow it, rate it 5 stars, provide a review, and again, just search The Odd Couple wherever you get your pod. Best of and a full version. Rob G will get that up in a moment. Speaking of Rob G, Ephraim was very taken aback when Steve DeSager was giving his update with this Jed York situation. Please break it down, Rob G.
Oh, it's a tough scene for the Niners owner. Jed York had to plead no contest to a pair of misdemeanor charges Monday after being arrested on suspicion of engaging in prostitution. Here's the headline here. York allegedly responded to an undercover ad on a known prostitution website and arranged for sexual activity with the female in exchange for $140. Now, in the hours and days since then. He's already pled down. It's no longer a prostitution charge. Instead, it's going to be amended to a misdemeanor disorderly conduct as part of a plea agreement to resolve.
And the best part is, Raji, do you know? See if you what they called his phone. It was a criminal tool.
Yes, a criminal tool. Possessing criminal tools.
His phone, a criminal tool, because that they're doing the work, setting it up on the phone.
Oh wait, so that was the criminal tool? Because my imagination went wild on what those criminal tools might have been.
Well, they let
paired
you
with
down.
prostitution.
Yeah,
they let you down.
Yeah, they let
really
you
let
down.
me down.
An adult toy the shape of a chainsaw. It's like, wait, what?
It was
Hey,
just,
if Jed York wants to let his freak flag fly, by all means.
Well, all I'm gonna say is that actually, it ain't gonna be all. I got quite a few things to say. Number one, boy, the rich like to stay rich. Because we talked about this with Robert Kraft. They said what I'm gonna not do, Ephraim, is spend money. $140 for somebody. And I told Raji, I said, was he negotiating? Where they're like, $250. Like, what? $100, $140. Bet. Okay, cool. We'll work on that. Like, what is going on? And let me say this. The 49ers, boy, they had an offseason. And I ain't talking about the players. You got the coach in the accident, which is not funny, but I'm saying he's got all the drama there. And then you got the owner out here. What in the world is going on up there?
Wide open out here in the West.
Man, the West is wilding right now. The 49ers, my gosh, this is a team everybody's going through. We always talk about what's going on in that area where the players are always injured. Like, and they become a joke now.
That
like,
damn substation got everybody going crazy out there, man.
They got to relax.
Okay, let's get into
energy
this.
field over there. What's going on?
Let's get into this, man. I said this about Robert Kraft.
What did you say? I wasn't around.
You're billionairing wrong. Okay? Now, if you kinky and you want to, right, there's ways you can set your world up to where, nothing illegal.
We're understood.
Right? But there's worlds that you can set your world up. Like, you don't have to. Why would you answer a public ad and why would you go to a strip mall? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
So what is that? Is it the thrill of the rush? Is it the anonymity, allegedly?
Well, you can create that world.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you have the resources.
Well, take out the if.
Well, you do have the resources.
Yeah.
You can create whatever utopic world that you fantasize about. The fact that you're not, it's out of control.
No, you're right, but I'm going full Rob G on this. Rob G, they want it out the mud. They want to get it out the mud.
The problem is they're not realizing you can create your own mud. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you.
You don't think they know that? You don't think they're golfing with a couple elite other friends and then
to what I'm trying to say to you. You can create a world that parallels what these men are doing.
Nah, but see, I want to do it. I don't want to send a driver, Rob G. I'm doing it in these streets.
It doesn't even have to be a driver. Okay. I would love to break it down,
I'm going to be honest with
but
you.
I'm not
going to
about
one more time before I'm be like, Ephraim.
I'm not going
to. You got one more time.
I'm not about to do none of that. All I'm saying is you have the resources for this never to happen.
We know that. That's why this is shocking. Ephraim, we know this. And that's what makes this thing crazy is because we keep hearing about it. You're like, wait, Robert Kraft walking up there next to the Little Caesars.
How you going to drive a Phantom? Right? How you going to drive a Phantom
and tell the driver to wait
to the Lotus Blossom?
Hey, I'll be back. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. Jerome.
To a trailer park in East Palestine, Ohio.
No, let's be a little bit more sanitary.
Yeah.
Okay?
The trailer park is crazy.
Guess what you could do as a billionaire? You can build your own Lotus Blossom in the back of your compound.
You could build your own trailer park.
Yeah. In the back of your own compound. If that's what you're into, you can put it right in the back. And you can go anytime you want. And you could take money and you could you created your own utopia.
He want the real deal.
That is the real deal.
Ain't like the real deal, babe.
If he would have went to Mama San and was like, hey, this is what I'm what? That's what they called her.
Okay. I'm crying.
She would have helped him set that world up. She would have helped him set the world up. For real.
Listen, you ain't wrong, but for whatever reason,
why are you a billionaire then? You're a billionaire to do stuff that the regular people have to do?
Maybe he was just really down bad. You ever been down bad before, Ephraim?
Not with $1 billion. Not with $1 billion. What are we talking about?
Down bad owning the 49ers is kind of crazy. That's a different kind of down bad.
That's out of control.
Them Ohio streets got them, boy. It is the odd couple on a clearly it ain't too much magic for everybody City Monday.
We are Blackboard.
Question, Deshaun Watson, as you heard a lot of what he said, Deshaun Watson saying over the weekend that the Browns fans were disrespectful when they booed him, and he said it's personal, it's not about performance. Do you uphold this claim or strike it down? Was this fan base in Cleveland disrespectful? As the judge, jury, and arbitrator of all that is truth, justice, and the Sports Talk Radio way, he is still wallowing, Deshaun Watson, in the kiddie pool of victimhood. It's a shame. Unable to process. Why exactly does the fan in Cleveland have a problem with you, Deshaun Watson? Why would that be? What could possibly have taken place that would have rubbed people the wrong way? I don't know. It does involve rubbing. Yeah, all right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And this is one of the things, like Deshaun, I got into it with Deshaun Watson when he was playing for the Texans, way before he became enemy of the people. And in my interaction with Deshaun Watson, at the time, he was considered Mother Teresa. You understand, his reputation when he was playing in Clemson, South Carolina, and then obviously on to the NFL, for years, it was Mother Teresa, God's gift to football, Boy Scout. Then we learned he liked to ride on the wild side, and all of a sudden he became Lucifer. He went from Mother Teresa to Lucifer. Who does that? He did it. He's Lucifer with a quarterback rating. That's it. And so, hey, the Brown backers, they bought the ticket. They're paying the $14 for the beers and the nachos and all that stuff, and so they have a right to boo until their tonsils file for workers' comp. And they can boo, 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 boo. A lot of boos. Well, why not? And so now Cleveland, they outdo themselves every year. God bless them. Every year the Browns do something so ridiculous. Here we are again. They're at a fork in the road. And they face the ultimate Q-score problem, as in quagmire. It is a giant quagmire. Here are the options the Browns have at quarterback. Door number one. You start the $230 million quarterback, guaranteed money, $230 million, near the end of his contract. A total bust who now admits the fans don't like me, and the way it sounded, he doesn't like them. So they hate each other. The customers don't like the person serving the food. They think the person serving the food is putting cockroaches in the food. That's door number one. Door number two, you hand the keys to Shedeur Sanders, who sucks. He's closer to being a TikTok star than he is an NFL star. And he plays quarterback in between social media engagements. Those are the options you have at quarterback. Pick your poison. Pick your poison.
In Major League Baseball on FS1 tonight, Detroit has lost 5 in a row, hosting and trailing 3-1 against the Rays in the top of the 5th. Meanwhile, Boston's tied it up at Miami 1-1 against the Marlins in the bottom of the 5th. Rockies leading at Washington 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th. No hits for the Nationals yet. And bottom of the 1st inning, Rangers out to a 2-0 lead at the White Sox. The Texas Rangers are tied for first in the AL West with idle Houston. Houston fired GM Dana Brown, whose contract was nearly up. The Cleveland Browns named Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. Raiders running back Ashton Genty missed practice after yesterday's sprained ankle. Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors took part in team drills without the non-contact jersey now. Wide receiver Puka Nacua of the Rams missed practice again with a groin injury. Portland Trailblazers guard Shaden Sharp will reportedly miss 6 months with a torn meniscus. I'm Steve DeSager.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
It's the Odd Couple on a Magic City Monday. Garrett Bush coming up. Bottom of the hour, host of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show and creator of The Barbershop. We'll talk to him in just a little bit. By the way, check us out on YouTube. We're on there now. Shout out to Elijah's. Got us looking good up there. Search Odd Couple FSR. Find us there. Hit subscribe, like, share, thumbs up, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. And speaking of that, Rob G, let's see what the Odd Mob and YouTubians are talking about.
Oh, there's a lot of things to talk about.
I can't imagine. They ain't caring about Shador or Deshaun, are
well,
they?
There's some about it. Let me read
right.
one of them. Damien says Shador's out here sending Deshaun the newest IG massage reels daily.
Man, that's hilarious. Wow. That's pretty
I don't know if I would do that, though, because the last time he played good, he was getting massages.
He was locked in.
Yep. When he's not getting massages is when he's terrible. So keep that in mind.
You that meme right now, Rob G, where they pointing at his head. You that meme right now.
Here's one. I wonder where Rob's at. Red Sox Pat says, Rob's not here because he was in a similar sting operation.
Oh, man.
Man.
Oh, wow.
Dang, they coming in.
No, 140 is too much
fired.
for Rob. Rob ain't paying
140. No,
140.
Right,
He
absolutely.
ain't paying 140.
What do I get for 140?
Nah.
But Rob ain't paying that.
Nah, he would think he owned you at that point. You my wife. Like, 140?
What would you pay? I'm playing. Go ahead.
I turned to look at Rob G. Like, he looking at you, Rob G?
No, and then Chase says difference between Kraft and Jed York is Kraft definitely had a hoopty to blend in.
Wasn't a Rolls Royce. Wasn't a Ghost. Wasn't a Phantom.
Just a Mercedes Maybach.
It's like
what his hoopty's not a minivan.
That's the hoopty
with a missing hubcap.
Ali Jordan says, man, Jed was trying to have that nasty work in some random trailer park in Ohio. He built different.
Yeah, he is built different.
No, that's certifiable. Now you,
that's big built different. To pull up to it,
psychotic trailer
looking
park?
for Eminem is crazy. Like you thinking you in the
you
trailer
looking
park
for bed
looking for
bugs and herpes all at the same place.
I don't think you can say that on the air, but that's okay.
Okay, well let's hit the dump button.
Yeah, let's hit the. Yeah.
All right. Well,
the YouTube people heard it, so that's good. Good
Shout out
for
to
them.
YouTube.
There you go.
Keep commenting. We get more.
Yeah, we'll get some more.
some
of
it I can't read, but yes.
Yeah, I can imagine. But
look, man,
Ephraim was really upset about this. Like, you really.
I just think if you amass
billionaires.
that amount of money, whatever kink or perversion you have, there's a way to do it legally, and you should take advantage of that. These two gentlemen that we were talking about, especially Jed, that's not how you do that. Okay,
I think Jed was off that Rob G. He had too much tequila, the whiskey, and he was just like,
it's like I went back home to visit the fan. All of a sudden it's
like
2 a.m. He's like,
have any friends?
He was down bad.
Yeah.
Where is your friend?
Not with him.
Every billionaire needs a friend.
They need a Olivia or an Oscar Pope.
You guys ever seen Billions?
Yes.
Know the show, but didn't watch it.
Right? Mm-hmm. Who's his friend?
Wags.
Come on, man. Come on, Rob G.
Wags is in it, man.
Everybody, if you amass that amount of money, you have to have a Wags.
I feel like Entourage would be another example, right? Where you got people.
Wags was different.
Okay, Wags was different.
Am I lying, Rob G? Am I lying?
Yeah, it must have been different because Rob G staring off into the distance.
Wags don't. Hey, man. Hey, Wags. Done. Whatever it is.
Don't even got to finish the rest of the
statement. You don't even
statement.
have to. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
That guy comes with the billion.
What
If
was
you
my
don't
man's
have that
name?
guy, you tripping.
What was his name? The Wolf in Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wolf.
Yep.
Or like to a must for the sports fans. Chris got to have a guy. Got to have a fall guy.
You have a guy.
Yep.
What's the guy in prison right now?
Ipe.
Yeah, got to have one of them's.
Hey, man. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
No, Ipe was wild.
9 years.
Hey, I just
got
listened
to have
the
a
whole
fall guy.
That,
It was me.
That podcast on him. That I think it was 30 for 30.
Yeah.
Ipe was wilding. Like now that I fully get all the details, mind you, Ipe, I didn't know he did because now that everything, they can put out everything. Ipe was on the phone.
Bro, I don't want to say it because I listened to it too. Doesn't it make the bank representative sound so racist? Like, all the Asians sounded like, I bet you that's
He called
Otani.
in, and because the
this
money
is Otani.
he needed, because the money he needed, they're like, we got to do the whole voice thing. You got to answer the question. He was like, no. Hey, what's up? This is Shohei Otani. She's like, no, I don't believe you. Yeah, it was wild. He was wild. Bro, they denied him off the voice joint. Like, nah, because he answered questions wrong. They were like, what is it for? And he was like, auto loan. They said $200,000 for an auto loan. So they denied him. He called back like 20-something times. Yeah, he was when you understand the depths of the wilding, the texts received, my man kind of lured him into it. He said, it ain't like you stealing it. The dude who was the what do they call it, the bookie? He was like, it ain't like you stealing it, and I know you're good for it. He was like, well, he said it in your text, Ephraim. Am I lying, Rob G? He said,
oh, man.
Well, sort of.
Hey, I don't care. Otani did it.
No, I know. I think a lot of people want to have a little of that, but Ipe was.
No, yeah, he was.
Sort of. They could have been doing it
together.
No, once you get into the depths, Ipe was big.
What documentary is that?
Oh, no, 30 for 30,
30
the
for
audio
30?
podcast.
Okay.
It's an
audio podcast?
Yeah, about 3-4 episodes. But once you start getting into the woman who, the ESPN writer who went through the whole thing, when she got him on the phone, she recorded the first phone call. He telling her everything. Am I lying, Raji? He like, yeah, I was doing this, and
I bet he told her everything.
I would have told her everything too.
Yeah, well,
you got $50 million waiting on the other side of it. Hey,
on the other side of the other side of the river, you'll be all right. You just got to get across. There's alligators and piranhas in there. You just got to get through the other side.
That's a lot of time. I'll go sit down for a couple of years. I get that. He got to sit down for.
But he's not in Folsom. Okay, he's not in Folsom. He's not in Folsom.
I don't think you grasp. Just take a listen and come back because you'll be back on. Rob will be on vacation.
Well, okay, he's only serving less than 5 years in federal prison.
Yes.
Federal prison?
How much would it take for Kelvin Washington to serve 5 years?
And a minimum.
In a federal
minimum security
now,
prison.
This is where I might lean towards.
Minimum
I might
security.
lean towards you two. To my knowledge, he does not have children.
I don't think so.
That's a huge, as three of us have
So
kids.
adding the kids,
Because adding the
$50
kids
million
now,
on top
it's like,
of that.
yeah, I can't, you know what I mean? But not having kids, I'm going to be like, babe, hear me out. all I'm gonna do is play pickleball and chess.
And you can come see me.
And you can come see me.
Like you can come.
We're working on some content.
I've been wanting to read. I'm wanting to read more. You know that.
I mean, I've been wanting to read. I've been trying to read 8 books a year.
I'm working on this screenplay.
Come on, I got nothing but time. Oh, wow.
50 mil on the other side of less than 5 years. 10 mil a year.
I'm taking it.
I can't do it.
I'm doing it.
10 mil a year.
I can't do it. I need more.
Huh. And
What
while
about
you're
you,
there,
E?
while you're there,
he wouldn't do it either.
Yeah, he would.
You wouldn't do it on 50 mil. No,
50
you wouldn't.
mil?
I know you wouldn't do it. And I'm going to tell you why. Can I tell you why I know you wouldn't do it? Tell me if I'm wrong. The reason I know it's 50 mil. It's a lot of money.
50 mil.
We know Rob G. He's come on here. We've had his brother Dion on. And you do so much that, and I'm not,
we can make 50 mil.
There you go. I'm sure you're doing well, but
we can make
that next one thing that might take it over
That
time
one thing
is
we can
right
make
there.
15 years ago.
You might go sit down.
Winter, summer. We're fine. Don't worry about
Go
it.
sit down.
I'm 35, right? I'm like, so at 40?
Yeah, I'm back out.
At 40, we're in Tuscany. We're in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel the same way. That's why, Roger, I know it sounds crazy, 50 mil. Having studied, great example. We talked about him on the show last week. Stephen A. Smith. 15 years ago, I'm sure he's doing fine, making good money with ESPN, doing well, better than the 98% of humans in America. Now the brother that made 100, right? And you look at Pat McAfee making 60 a year. My point is, certain things aren't that crazy when it hits.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why 50 mil, I know that sounds crazy, but the one thing I might do, the one thing I pop off and it becomes a thing, and 10 mil a year ain't that crazy. Shut up, Rob G, in advance, because Rob G likes to see. That's why I need you here.
Rob, would you sit it down?
Rob G is, no, he wouldn't.
50 million?
15 years ago.
I know you and your daughter.
15 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, 15 years. Now, though.
Okay.
You're still not. If you didn't have daughters, you might.
I would run it by my wife first, because if she was cool with it, I'd be cool with it.
She'd be like, she gets to come see you.
Yeah. Bring the kids. They'll love it.
Look, man. On some
They have
minimum
a place
security
to hide.
prisons, it's not even. They don't even have gates. Find out.
What is this, like the
Can we
prison
find
in
out?
Goodfellas?
Can we find out where he is?
I'm
Find
going to
out
come
where
out
he
of
is. Let's look
prison
it up.
all jacked and well-read. What are you talking about?
I mean, with some red wine and some
I know.
steaks.
What do you act like this
Look,
Goodfellas coming in with
Jess,
lamb chops?
Don't put in too many onions. Don't put too many onions in the
please
sauce.
Find out where he's serving his sentence.
I mean, dang, how connected were you with the prisons? That you know all the prisons?
My father worked in the prison system for 26 years.
All right, well, we got all the
I've
plugs we
been
need.
to Folsom. I've been to Soledad, Mule Creek, Cochran.
He is housed at the Federal Correctional Institution Allenwood Low in Allenwood, Pennsylvania.
That sounds
Is
real
that
cheap.
minimum?
That sounds true.
That just sounds easy.
It does sound easy.
Yeah.
Pickleball.
Allenwood? Are you kidding me?
Low.
Pickleball.
That sounds like a place I would do work
Allenwood
at.
Low, not Allenwood High,
We didn't say Chino.
right? Not high security or max security. Right?
All that being said, you ain't doing it anyway. Now, 100 mil, you would do it.
100? Holla at me. But you know what type of life you get to have in there, right?
What?
If people know 100 is coming, you get whatever you want.
Yeah, because they're going to be looking out. They're like, when I get
Whatever
out,
you need.
he's going to take care of me.
CO be your best friend.
That's true. That is
Anything, you got phone, got your cable in here.
Can you
Right?
imagine?
At your movies.
Can you imagine you going live, doing your show? We got a live podcast in prison. Like, yo, it's your boy. It's
Scott,
your
I
boy.
got the Comrex in here. Don't worry
Yes,
about
Trey,
it. We
don't
can do
worry
the show.
about it.
Right?
Yo, it's
Scott, keep it going.
Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam. Yeah, that's right, man. You know, Ephraim's podcast, new episode of Lockdown, but you ain't really locked down because you're doing it live. Which, by the way, watching prisoners on, like, seeing them post stuff on Instagram is crazy. I'm always blown away that the ones that do stuff and just, we in
They
here,
in there.
actually live. I'm like, wait a minute.
The guy's cooking something right there on the floor.
It's out of control, bro. It's like, it's all right.
Some prisons, they threw the towel in. They don't even care. They're like, just
TVs are cheap
Summer
these days.
camp.
Some prisons that throw. I got unfortunately, some family locked up. That is the polar opposite.
Oh, well, that's now if you do something where you're going to have to go and be. And
There's some
look,
states, I'll just say that.
If you go to a level 5 yard, like you. When I went to visit, when I turned 18, my dad took me and Dion to work with him.
Was it a scared straight tactic or something?
No, he just wanted to see what the other side looked like. He wanted us to be aware of what that.
That's
we just
real.
went to work with. It was no program.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Hey, meet me at the prison," and we went into and walked across the yard, and we left there that day like, "Nah, this ain't gonna not us, not us." Nah, brother, that ain't what you.
You don't want that.
You don't want that, cause that. You know what? This is the thing that really I'll never forget this. As we're walking, we're leaving, and I look against the far wall at the prison yard, and I said, "Hey, I'm a kid. I'm 18." I said, "Dad, what are those women doing in here?" He said, "Those are women, son." I said, "Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I got to get out of here." Hey man, look here. These real stories, man. These real stories. He looked me dead in my eye.
I tell you, Roger, I had no idea where we were going with that. I thought he was gonna say, yeah, you know, and
I'm
those are the
questioning.
ladies
I'm
over
like,
there
hey,
locked up too, and
I'm like, they shouldn't be out here.
well, you know what?
What are these ladies doing out here?
You led to a perfect transition. Enes Kanter has a lot to say about the WNBA, including
See how I'll
getting
be
kicked out of
setting
the
these
game.
up?
You set that one up, so we'll get into that as well. It is the Odd Couple.
It's a good show today.
It is Kelvin, Ephraim on a Wild City Monday. Stick with your boys, Fox Sports Radio. But let me tell you about Webull. Or am I telling you about Webull? I'm still going to tell you about it. For every sports season is built on preparation, studying the trends, and making the necessary adjustments to reach the ultimate goal. Investing, well, it deserves the same approach. With Webull, you have access to real-time market data, advanced tools, and an intuitive app that is designed to help you make informed decisions. And whether you're actively trading stocks, options, ETFs, and more, or planning for the long term for you and your family with IRAs, cash management, and custodial accounts for children, Webull gives you the tools to invest your way, all in one platform. Looking to take your preparation to the next level? Check out Webull's Learn resources and join their in-app community feed so that you can discuss investing trends and happenings alongside 25 million users globally. And now, to help streamline your trading activities and elevate your strategy, try Vega, Webull's personal market AI assistant that can give real-time analysis, watch list insights, and alerts when earnings drop. So get your financial portfolio game ready by downloading the Webull app today or visiting Webull.com.
Webull Financial, LLC, member SIPC FINRA. Investing involves risk. For more information, visit Webull.com/disclosures.
Let's get to, speaking of, I guess, mad, maybe if you're a Denver Nugget fan, Rob G, maybe you're mad that you lose a nice punch off the bench with Peyton Watson.
Bro, if you're a Denver Nuggets man, you got to be pissed today because the Denver Nuggets are a seasoned team. We'll call them that. They don't really have a lot of young assets, but they had one of them. His name was Peyton Watson. About 6'8", 200 pounds, elite defender, shoots about 40% from three. And they had to give him away for nothing because their salary cap situation is so bad. Guys, they acquired a 2031 Cavs first-round pick and a 2032 Kings second-round pick in the deal. Number one, when those picks convey, Nikola Jokic will be 36 years old. So that's part of the problem. Number two, they got this massive trade player exception in the deal, which sounds good, until you realize that because they're in the second apron, they can't even use it. So they dumped their only good young player for nothing, basically. It's not looking good if you're a Nuggets fan.
It's not. And I think we've seen the last of Nikola Jokic in the finals, and some of it's not his fault. As you just mentioned, some of it's the league where it's set up now with the second apron, and you're hamstrung into what you can do, who you can sign. You mentioned, he was giving you 15 points a game in the 54 games that he played. So you got a guy giving you nice punch. As you mentioned, young, only going to get better. We talk about you got to have elite wings in the current NBA, and they have that, but then they had to get rid of him. So now you take a blow if you're the Joker. And now it's getting to where, again, I've mentioned it before, you got a guy who's been a 3-time MVP. A lot of people think should have been 4, finished first or second the last 6 years. So it's absolutely crazy, his accolades. But at the end of it, he's only going to walk away with 1 ring. And if he were just a guy who got an MVP, you'd say, all right, I'm not mad at that. But a guy who as highly regarded to only walk away with that and not even have many deep playoff runs, like a bunch of Western Conference Finals appearance, a couple Finals appearances, even if you lost, at least you got there. To not have that is, to me, going to be a disservice to him and really just a ding to me when I'm talking about the long-lasting legacy. And a lot of it, again, I look at the Nuggets. Him and Jamal Murray, they kept that marriage going a long time when we've seen Jamal Murray, and we know that he couldn't stay healthy a lot of the times when they needed him. And we know that if it ain't the Lakers, he didn't show up a lot of times in the postseason when they needed him, but yet they kept that marriage together. And they've gotten rid of players when you thought, wait, why would you get rid of him? They lost to KCP, they lost to Bruce Brown before, and then obviously they brought him back. But now it was happening with Watson, and I look up at this and I say, okay, we're going to look at it, and now with the emergence of the Thunder over the last 2-3 years, with the Spurs and our expectation of them, and then obviously there's always a team that pops up. Minnesota has had their number. Minnesota, we don't know what they're going to be now that they made some trades and got Melo. They're either going to be incredibly fun to watch or they're going to be horrible, a disaster. But and obviously the Lakers make some moves. There's some moves that have been made out there. I think between the top two teams and the Spurs and the Thunder, it's going to be a rotating piece of who gets there. And I think we've seen the last of Joker. And Joker, Rob, doesn't strike me as a guy who wants to be traded and kind of go to a team and go there to try to get a ring and stay relevant. I think, as Rob G just mentioned, he might not get to 36, 37 in the sense of not that he won't have talent still, but just I'm ready to go home. I was a second-round pick. I've overachieved. I got a ring, got a bunch of MVPs, and I think we'll see the last of arguably one of the best, 2, 3, 4 players of the last 10, 15 years getting a ring. And I think it'll be disappointing that that's all we got from a guy that potentially could have 4, dang near even more MVPs. All I got was really one real deep playoff run. And that's just a tale of the times that we're in. And also, to me, a tale of where the Nuggets missed out on some opportunities, maybe holding on to guys too long or getting rid of guys too early.
Kelvin, when you talk about this is where me and you separate. We are definitely the odd couple. He's playing with house money. The Denver Nuggets, can I give you an education on the Denver Nuggets? They had never won anything. They had Carmelo Anthony. I could go through the lineups and the teams that they had. Chauncey Billups was there with a group. They never won anything, okay? He won a championship. He was never going to win 4 championships, regardless to because he won MVPs, he was never going to win 4 championships. He's the only player in the history of the National Basketball Association to win a championship without having another all-star on his team. No one had ever done that. He's a made man. That it sounds great that they should go to the finals every year and he's the best player and all that. None of it makes any sense to me.
Fox Sports Radio. It is the Odd Couple, Kelvin Washington for Salaam on a Magic City Monday. Garrett Bush coming up here in a moment. Stream us live wherever you happen to be in the iHeart app. Catch us and all your favorite Fox Sports Radio shows live 24/7 in the new and improved iHeart app. Just search Fox Sports Radio in the app. Just stream us live all day, every day. Be sure to select Fox Sports Radio as your preset. That way it'll pop up for you as well. Rob G, Enes Kanter. Ennis free. I don't even. What Ennis is at it again with the shenanigans.
Yeah, he went to the Sky Fever game over the weekend, wore a shirt and sat courtside. It said, "Woman, noun, adult, human, female." That was part of it. He posted on Instagram during one of the quarter breaks outside of the women's restroom saying that he's going to go use that restroom now. So that was another thing. But what really got him going and got viral was during the game, Sky point guard Natasha Cloud had a basket and she would got right in his face. They had words of big verbal altercation. He ended up getting ejected from the arena. We don't know what was said, what he said, what she said, but apparently it was enough for him to get ejected. And now today, the WNBA, according to multiple reports, has said that neither Kanter nor former NBA player Royce White, despite declaring for the WNBA draft, will be eligible to play next season.
Enes Kanter is an idiot. And I say that, no, I'm serious, because I have multiple reasons why to say this. Number one, let's say his original principle is that a woman who's born a woman, that's a woman and not a man. And there are people who left, right, black, white, Latino, Turkish, they would agree. There's a lot of people who may agree with that sentiment. So if that's his point and he wants to have a real dialogue about that, that's a fair thing, to have a conversation about this. This is something, over the last, decade or so has really become, a conversation at times. So if he wants to do that, but his buffoonery, his tactics, him making it about him is really not where a conversation is being had. And he's doing this about him, and he, when his family was having the drama and the issues in Turkey, and then he turned his spotlight, turned his on LeBron. You ain't doing this about China, you ain't doing this. And then he was welcomed by a certain group who started to embrace him because he's going at LeBron, and certain groups went at LeBron, if you catch my drift. He now has become that. And it ain't about the issue. he really is it's about me. He's become, yeah, about that. You think he could really care less about the issue at hand. I'm not saying at his core does he believe about the ideology that, hey, a woman should only be in women's sport. I believe he may think that. I do. But the approach to actually trying to have change, he's not trying to have that. To have a real conversation, to have dialogue, to have an understanding, to have meeting of the minds, he ain't trying to have that. He is very much a product of the 2020s where it's about me. It's about me building my brand. Mm-hmm. It's about me causing a fuss because either way, good noise, all publicity is good publicity. And I told Rob G, Dagner didn't want to talk about this because, hey, at least we're talking about him. And that's what he's become. What's the other guy, Royce? What's his name?
Royce White. Royce
White? When's the last time you thought about Royce White? You don't. But they find these ways to do childish and foolish things like this. And again, I'm not even saying if they wanted to have a legitimate conversation about that. Again, I think sometimes the principal point, many people may agree, or many people want to have an understanding of it. And we're okay, well, I can see that, but I don't agree with that. But he's making this an act. He's making this all the attention, and I don't subscribe to that.
Who was Royce White drafted by? Houston?
I think it was Houston.
Wasn't he the one who had severe anxiety?
Doesn't fly on
planes.
He
couldn't fly on the planes.
Yeah. Okay.
So my whole point, Ephraim, is this is a conversation that a lot of people are either uncomfortable, didn't know they had to have, because some people feel like, well, it's not a real issue right now. A legitimate person who is transitioned is not trying to be in the NBA, so why are we even WNBA? And why are we even have this conversation?
It's not like
a dire thing that's a real thing right now. So why are we having this conversation?
Not a bunch of camps going on to find the next
exactly. So a lot of people do feel like this.
player.
And a lot of people of different minds, like I said, different backgrounds are like, hey, why are we even having this conversation? Why is this even a thing right now? But for him to co-opt this moment to the conversation, make it about him, make it about, and look at me, and then to run up on Natasha Cloud like he was getting ready to like really do something to her, like foolish. Idiotic.
What did she say? She ran up on him? So what did she say?
She hit
to
a
him?
bucket. I couldn't tell. She just hit a bucket. And they know that each other are, have different mindsets.
This is the problem I'm having with the whole situation. We're talking about the buffoonery and not the game.
Right? We've been having this conversation for a few weeks.
That's the problem I'm having. It's so distracting from the actual performances and the games.
Mm-hmm.
When you have these antics and her to go over there and try to prove a point doing her basketball game, like, to me, that's the problem I'm having with what she did. Right? She's in a game.
Mm-hmm.
You can handle that in the press conference, right? Like, why in the game as a player? That's like if I'm on the field. Remember what DK Metcalf did last year?
Yeah.
Right? That's the problem I had with it. There have been plenty of times I wanted to go snatch somebody out the crowd. But you score a basket, you get back on defense, but yet you – right? Like, so
here's my only pushback with that, Ephraim. You're a Laker fan. Luka Doncic might be the number one dude in the NBA who does that. Goes crazy at fans.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
you know what I mean, and it gets in the and we love it.
This is not because of something he said to her, or this is about what he's representing and what he's doing to the league, right? So you went out of your way. Like, if I'm sitting on the bench and you behind me, you telling me I'm this and that and my kids and I'm gonna do this and that, that's a different response level. But when you seek somebody out because of their, them being idiotic while you're working, that's a problem for me. You're working. Like, that's not the time and place for that. That's what I'm saying. As a starting guard in a game, you took that time to go and approach something about something that has nothing to do with the actual game you're playing in. Like, you can make a statement after, hey, I'm this and that and that and this, and I saw Enes Kanter in there, and let me just say this. Boom, boom, boom. During the course of the game, though, where security had to come and grab him, and you walking over to him, what was you going to slap him? What if nobody got in your way? What if you made it all the way to him?
I'll be for sure, but I'm also interested in the other side of that. And again, I hear you. It just
seems out of place to me.
I'll give you that, but I just think, again, when I'm looking at him specifically and what he's become, where it's not about, again, if this were about a real conversation, if he were saying, hey, I have a daughter and I feel challenged by this. I want my daughter to play against women who are biological. That's a conversation that can be had.
Right.
But what he has become is for self.
And that's yes. Go ahead.
And just hijacking moments and really not even trying to.
All that has nothing to do with what you're doing right then and there. If you want to make a statement after the game, go say something. But during the middle of this thing, I was just like, man, that's really out of place. It's just really out of place.
That's my pushback is we've seen this many times where somebody gets, and I get your point, it could be about the game, but we've seen multiple occasions where somebody goes to somebody, I make a bucket, I scream my stuff, I walk back to go shoot a free throw, and he stood up like he was
but that's
action.
what I'm
and that's why I told Rob G, I said, Dagner don't even want to talk about this because this is what he is. He's not even about a real conversation, a real change, a real this.
He hijacked the moment, and now he's hijacking our show. Look what you did.
And look at that. And he's become this now. So I'm done with him. Ain't got nothing else to say to him. Garrett Bush. Got something to say to him on the other side. Right now, checking in with Steve, the segment, who also has something to say. And I'll listen to you, Steve.
Well, we'll just start with the baseball scoreboard. We're not going to hijack the scoreboard update here.
I appreciate that.
Texas Rangers lead now 3-2 at the White Sox, bottom of the second. The Rangers are tied for first in the AL West with idle Houston, each team 65 and 66. Someone is going to win that division. Houston fired general manager Dana Brown today. His contract was nearly up. Among the later games, in an hour, Philadelphia, winners of 9 straight, will be at Seattle. The Phillies just won yesterday with 6 runs in the bottom of the ninth, all with 2 outs. The Braves are off. Starting Tuesday, Atlanta hosts the Dodger team that's won 6 in a row. Dodgers pitcher Tyler Glasnow returns Tuesday. Catcher Will Smith of L.A. starts AAA rehab on Tuesday. The Brewers are off. They still had the best record in the majors, now 81-50 after they lost in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, to Atlanta on Sunday night. Kansas City's off. Royals have won 8 straight. And on FS1, it's the Rays now 4-1 at Detroit at the 7th inning stretch. Detroit trying to end a 5-game losing streak. Boston still tied 1-1 at Miami, top of the 7th. In D.C., it's now Nationals 5-2 over the Rockies in the top of the 6th. Rockies had the worst record in the majors, 50-80. Colorado placed pitcher Kyle Freeland on the IL. He's 4-10 this year, ERA of 6.37. And also among the late games, Arizona will be hosting the Cubs. Diamondbacks are 2 games behind San Diego for the last NL wildcard. The Cleveland Browns named Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback, and he backed off his post-game comments over the weekend about the home fans booing him. Raiders running back Ashton Genty missed practice after yesterday's sprained ankle. Portland Trailblazers guard Shaden Sharp will reportedly miss 6 months with a torn meniscus. He is starting a 4-year contract extension this year. Sharp averaged 21 points a game last season, playing 50 games. A reminder, IndyCar will be in Wisconsin this weekend on Fox TV. Alex Palou still leads in the season standings. Back to you.
Steve, I was going full-on acting right there.
Thanks,
They don't call me Kenzel Washington for no reason. Denzel's cousin. Rob G, we're getting a little into it. We start going over. If you walk, okay, what's the definition of walking up on somebody?
Denzel Washington.
Well, I can't be Kenzel.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
It is the Odd Couple. Kelvin, Ephraim, in for Rob on a Magic City Monday. Joined now by Garrett Bush, host of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show and creator of the Barbershop, G. Bush 91. Garrett, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? Glad to be with y'all today.
Glad to have you, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Let's get to this. First and foremost, I want to start with Deshaun Watson and the idea that I'm interpreting it, the fans owed him something. They were owed. They're supposed to be gracious. They were supposed to be kind. They were supposed to cheer for him. When my point was, and I think Ephraim agreed with the sentiment, that what have you done to deserve that? You come, but there was a lot of personal baggage, right? Then they give you guaranteed money, the most we've ever seen, and you haven't lived up to that. Team hasn't had success with you. You've been injured. Like, what? Didn't even look good in the preseason. What did the fans, why were they supposed to cheer this man?
A lot of us is trying to figure that out myself. Like, the full disclaimer, I'll let you know, when we got Deshaun Watson and he came into the organization, a lot of fans, including myself, were excited about the opportunity because we looked at it like, yeah, he has some baggage involved. You know, it looked like, you know, he was going to be able to get back onto the football field. But we was basing that on what we saw from the Houston Texans years.
Right.
And so he's been here. He's been hurt multiple times. And that's the thing that has so many fans upset. And I don't know if the Browns think that it's going to blow over that quick, but a lot of people are thoroughly upset because when he was asked specifically about why, you know, the booing happened, he could have pointed to the fact that, hey, listen, I'm making a lot of money. I haven't lived up to my expectations, the expectations of the organization or the city. So guess what, guys? You know what? I would boo me too. So I have to be better. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. If he'd have said something along those lines, it would have been at least, I guess, palatable. But he went the opposite route and was like, he basically said that, you know, he gets more love on the road and he might have to operate like he has 17 weeks of road games.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this about Shedeur. Like, what is the sentiment from the fan base, the media about Shedeur in terms of his abilities, what they think he can be, and if he'll get the opportunity to be that?
Well, there's been a couple factions. There's a faction of people who believe that Shedeur, doesn't have the ability to be a franchise quarterback. But then there's a large contingency of people that are clamoring him at all costs to get to see this dude actually go on the field and get an opportunity. Everybody knows the Browns got 2 first-round picks. Everybody knows we didn't do quarterback. So one of the things that a lot of people are saying, people who didn't think Shedeur was going to be a franchise guy, but also thought it was no way you could play Deshaun Watson, and people that support Shedeur Sanders that think he can be a franchise quarterback, they're actually on the same page now. I think this almost galvanized them because now there's this huge outcry to just see what Shedeur can do. He's shown the ability. I've been to pretty much every single practice in training camp. I thought he thoroughly outplayed Deshaun Watson. What you saw in the game against the Buffalo Bills was a microcosm of the things we saw in camp. He was highly inconsistent. He threw the most interceptions in camp. And people are saying, listen, if you got 2 first-round picks, just play Shedeur. Let's figure out what we need to do. If he's the franchise guy, let's roll with it. If not, you got picks. But rolling Deshaun Watson out in a year where he's doesn't have any money on the books as his last year, and frankly, if you hear him talk, even if he had a great year for the Cleveland Browns and was doing his thing, and he had other options, he would never come back to Cleveland again.
Right.
Because I think he spoke the truth. I think he has a very big grudge against people that cheered when he was injured on the field.
Garrett Bush on with The Odd Couple. He is the host of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Are there pieces there, Ephraim and I were talking, are there some things where you can say, okay, obviously we talk about the quarterbacks, that's just what we do in the media, but are there some guys, you're like, all right, look, we got some of the receiving core, maybe defense, we got some pieces from the Rams in the trade. Like, are there some things or some optimism away from just the quarterbacks?
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part about it is because I think Andrew Berry has done a really good job the last couple of years of just getting guys that fit the bill, young guys that are hungry. Casey Concepcion this year, they went and got two receivers. Denzel Boston and Casey Concepcion have been basically the best receivers in camp. They've outplayed Jerry Jeudy by a mile. Isaiah Bond is coming along the second year. I like Spencer Fano's fight, the way he goes about his business. Quinshon Judkins is a dog. I love what you find in with Carson Schlesinger, who to me I call him Captain America. He's sideline to sideline, and when he came out of UCLA, I had no clue who he was. He was a walk-on. But listen, he brings it. Defensive Rookie of the Year. I love the fact that they did get Jared Verse in the Myles Garrett trade. So they got young pieces and parts. The problem I got is when you put the starting quarterback out there and it's Deshaun Watson and he's getting booed, a lot of people don't understand that. You're subjecting your young players to that type of environment. So now, when he's getting booed, you got players who come from big-name programs who are used to winning, and they're looking around like, what the heck did I get myself into? I thought this was our fan base. Now they're getting booed in games at home, and not only is it 17 away games for Deshaun Watson, you can't separate that from your young guys that's going out there trying to play. And then guys are asking them, hey, do you think you should boo? Have you ever been booed before? What are your thoughts of the fans booing about Deshaun Watson? Now you're putting them in harm's way and having them answer questions. So, yeah, I love the nucleus, love Harold Fannin Jr. I think they're on the right track with a lot of young players. But the quarterback thing is just something that continues to hang over the franchise when it doesn't really have to be. They should just play Shedeur Sanders. I thought he outplayed him, and I think the fan base wants to see him. And I get you can't have a coach that's being, beholden to the fan base. But at this point, after that press conference, I just don't see what the upside is. I just can't see it.
We are talking to Garrett Bush, host of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Let me flip the page a little bit and let's talk about the NBA. Let's talk about the Cavaliers. And can you walk me through the whole LeBron decision to go to Philadelphia instead of come back home? How realistic did you think it was for LeBron to come back home and finish up where he started?
I thought it was. I think the Cavs, in my opinion, as I dig around with other people and the stuff starts to come out a little bit later as we go through it. I'm back on Deshaun Watson, but LeBron James, he gave the Cavs the only meeting. He didn't meet with any other teams except for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I think the Cleveland Cavaliers did themselves a disservice by not exploring trades. Jaylen Brown ends up going to Philly. And Max Tyrese Maxey is there. Edgecombe is there. They got some pieces of parts. They land Jaylen Brown, and now all of a sudden LeBron is looking like, okay, Cleveland, what we doing? Like they wouldn't move Evan Mobley. They refused to move Evan Mobley, and basically the only thing they had was, hey, James Harden's going to defer some of his money and don't sign to see if we can do some things. And I just think that LeBron looked at it and said, this is more heavy lifting than I'm willing to do in my last 2 years. Also, I also think that once you have that story written a little bit, it's kind of difficult to come back and do the sequel. And I think at that point, he looked at their roster and said, my best chance to contribute, I don't got that much heavy lifting, is I'm going to go over here to Philadelphia. To this day, I'm still kind of shocked he went to Philly. I'm trying to wrap my head around it because I never envisioned that. I thought, he would end up in Cleveland. But to me, I think the Cavs dropped the ball a little bit. I think the Cavs could have been more proactive and improving their roster prior to LeBron getting there or prior to LeBron making his decision. And I think he actually was waiting on them to do something. But when those moves didn't happen, I think him and Rich Paul made the decision, hey, listen, we can go over here and get another couple rings. And for better or worse, the Cavs kind of got left holding on to the bag. Now, they did just make a small move and moving Max Strus out and going to get Peyton Watson. And so for me, that's a nice move. But I think the Cavs, if you want to ask me, they're somewhere between a 6 and a 4 seed in a loaded Eastern Conference all of a sudden. And that's even before Kawhi, the deal with Kawhi we found out was going to happen with him and the Raptors. So it's going to be tough sledding in the East.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate it, Garrett, man.
Thanks,
Thank
Garrett.
you so much. Give him a follow, GBush91 on X. Garrett, man, thanks again, bro.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Do you believe in the power of prayer?
Yeah.
It might have helped somebody on the football field.
Okay.
We'll tell you who we're talking about. It's the Odd Couple. Kelvin, Ephraim. Stick with us, Fox Sports Radio.
Well, speaking of two versions, there are two versions of professional football players these days, it seems like. You guys touched on a little bit with George Reiser in hour one. There is a growing trend. There's over 30 athletes now, several of whom who were recently on NFL training camp rosters, who through some legal loophole have decided, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to make the team. I don't know if I'm going to get a guaranteed contract. I'm going back to college for a 5th year of eligibility. Guys who were on NFL rosters on Tuesday will now be on college rosters tomorrow. What do you think of that?
Kelvin, you disagree with it, so you can go first.
Yeah, well, I'm just not a fan of it. I'll be straight up. I'm not a fan of it. It's different, Rob. I think the great compromise was a handful of years ago. Remember when they changed it? It used to be even if you signed with an agent, you were done, period. You'd be done. And I thought that was extreme, right? You make a decision and you're like, oh, shoot, okay. You hadn't done anything. The college year still, it's not, it's still going, the actual school year. So once they changed it to, all right, you can sign with an agent, and then before the draft, you can be like, nah, I'm good, I'll go back. I thought that was the perfect medium. You had a little moment, you got a little crazy, or maybe you thought your value was so high, you decided to come back. That's fair to me. Once you start going and signing with pros and participating in practice and training camp and getting bulked up and getting all the benefits of being in the pros when it comes to nutritionists, when it comes to obviously all the training staff they have there and just the coaching that you'll get for those months, and then you come back and beat up on some potentially 18, 19, 20-year-olds, I'm just not a fan of it, Rob. Sometimes in life, you had to do it, I had to do it. You make a decision, you put on your big boy pants, and you roll with it, and you go forward. You've taken jobs that you maybe a little bit in, you said this ain't the best job, but you know what? I made the decision to roll with it. I've had to do it. It's part of life. And the idea that you can go back, we've gone so far with what we're allowing athletes to do. You can reclassify in high school a couple of times. Now you got 19-year-olds beating up on 16-year-olds and no dang near 20-year-olds in high school. You got a bunch of old kids coming back to college. Now you got dudes that signed pro contracts, got to smell what it's like to be a pro and say, nah, I'm going to go back. Then it puts pressure on the team. Okay, wait, now you're back? Okay, now I got to, wait, I already signed this kid. Maybe I'll void this contract if I'm going to bring you back. And it's just doing too much. You had your shot. You had your day. And move on. Go fight, earn your spot in the pros, and move on and live life. I'm just not a big fan of it, Rob. I understand and get paid, but you've moved on with your life. You signed up. You were getting pro training, pro everything. Don't now come back to college.
Kelvin, you're way off base, and I'm going to tell you, you're living in the past. You're supposed to be some new thinker. What you're fantasizing about doesn't exist anymore. There's no such thing as amateur sports and college football. So you're living in some past world where there were strict rules and you couldn't take a pizza and you couldn't trade your warm-up jacket and you couldn't get tattoos. That world doesn't exist. These guys make millions of dollars to play in college. So it's not illogical for them to just because you're in an NFL training camp, you're not a professional. You don't get paid until you make the team.
You don't even sound right.
You're not though. I'm just trying to. You're not.
But you are.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. When they say former NFL players, your name will not be on. I don't care how many training camps you went to. Until you get on the field or play on a roster where you make the team, you're not an NFL player. You're not. So these guys are within their rights. I have no issue with it. They're probably going to make more money than they would have made in the NFL. So what's the difference? They're making money now.
Just stay there. I don't have a problem with it, Rob.
No,
just stay
they don't have
there.
to stay there because it's open for them because of what's happened to the system. They're paying people now, so it's ridiculous to make it like, oh, no, you were in an NFL camp. If I have a year of eligibility legally, why can't I go back and play, especially since I haven't signed a real contract yet? You know what I mean? That makes you a professional athlete. I'm not going to be listed in the annals of NFL that I was an NFL player when you look it up if I only went to training camp. So they're not doing anything wrong. I have no issues with this whatsoever.
Sports Radio. It is the Odd Couple. Kelvin Washington, Ephraim Salaam on a Magic City Monday. Shout out to Garrett Bush just joined us. G Bush 91. Appreciate him for taking some time with us. And by the way, it is time to get your financial portfolio game ready. With Webull, get powerful investing tools, real-time data, all in one platform. Get started by downloading the Webull app today or visiting Webull.com. Webull Financial LLC, member SIPC, FINRA. Investing involves risk. And for more information, visit Webull.com/disclosures. Ashton Gentry, I should say. Genty, let me start again. Ashton Gentry, running back for your Raiders, obviously goes down, looks like a bad injury. People were speculating it's an ACL. The reports that he might be done for the year. Everybody's kind of all over the place. And it ends up being, which just sounds bad when you're injured, but it ends up being, thankfully, an ankle sprain, which, by the way, those are tricky, as you know.
High ankle sprains?
High ankle sprains because they can bother you the whole rest of the season.
But it's not an ACL.
But it ain't an ACL. And Rob G and I were talking about it. And, you know, when he goes down and, you know, everybody forward around, they got the prayer circle going on him. And Rob G, look, Rob G's so stupid. Elijah, put the camera on Rob G. So stupid. Can I get what you always say that makes me laugh? Hit me with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus!
So they got the prayer circle around him. And Rob G and I are talking on our way to the show.
Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Tebow. And I was telling him, I said, look, man, even though it's an injury, sometimes prayer, it ain't always the answers you think. Sometimes it's the miracle of the things that were missed. For instance, it was a high ankle sprain. But you can deal with that. You can push through. You can persevere. And ACL, season's over. And I got to go, and I said, see, don't you disrespect the power of prayer, Rob G, because sometimes it's the accidents that were avoided on the freeway. Person drives by you, hey, remember what you're doing, jerk? You know, you mad at him. But that could have been a bad accident. Sometimes it's the small miracles, Ephraim. That you know, sometimes sometimes it's the ones that happen that you almost take for granted because you're looking at this should have been avoided wholly. But sometimes, even when it's still a little bit things are difficult, you can still manage, still persevere, and still make it through. I'm just saying, okay. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Look, I'm a believer in prayer, man. The power of prayer is amazing.
It is. Sometimes you got to be happy with, you know, the things that, you know, might be a tight situation.
Well, I'm happy that it's not serious, as serious as we suspected. Yeah. So, because the Raiders definitely need him if they want to do anything this year.
What are you making him, by the way? Last year, I mean, obviously high expectations, was incredible in college, and
there wasn't much there.
Yeah.
So, you know. Now, they've done some things in this offseason, and they drafted well, starting with Fernando Mendoza. But like I said, they shouldn't be rushing him out. Rob G, what do you think? That's your team, right?
He don't even bring him up anymore.
Do you think they should start Mendoza?
Do I think they should start Mendoza?
That opening day.
No.
Smart man. Do you like Mendoza for the face of the franchise?
He's not sold.
Kind of a square.
You don't like it,
but
huh?
I do.
You don't like the way he talks, huh?
No, you know what? The fact that my quarterback is afraid to go on the strip in Vegas because he's too busy, you know, studying game tape. It's got to be a positive, right?
I mean,
that's one way to look at it.
That's
you
one
know?
way of avoiding what's your boy, Jed York type territory.
Yeah, you know. I mean, they got that off strip too, but apparently that's the only place he can't go.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, I'm pulling for him. I loved him in college. I need a little bit more bite.
When you say the play or the personality?
There ain't nothing special about him.
No, I need him to be a little bit more fiery instead of
he's a puppy dog.
I'm glad I threw the interception because I can learn from it. I don't want that. No. We're not doing that, bro.
See, there you go. After all that I just told you. See, even in the mirror.
No, I need you in the huddle.
No, the reason why Ashton Gentry's in the huddle is because Fernando Mendoza prayed for him.
I need
him and Kirk Cousins.
I want to run through a wall for you in the huddle, and that ain't gonna get it done.
Can that change, or is that you? That's an interesting thing. You know, is it nature, nurtured, or nature? That's what I'm curious.
We are Buffalo.
My guy, your guy, Drew Brees on the Kiffin and Rich Show. What's up, Drew?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Doing great.
To see you. It's NFL Hall of Famer Drew Brees. That's the official title.
Every time he's introduced, I heard he wants to be that way. So awesome, dude.
I got an honorary doctorate from Purdue this year, too, so you're going to have to throw a doctor in front of that as well.
Dr.
Yeah.
Drew Brees on the show.
That's right.
That is so great. I love that. We have so many questions for you. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you being here. In for Dan Patrick, Covino, and Rich. When it comes to the NFL Hall of Fame, I mean, obviously you're a man that does your prep. You made it this far, but how much prep goes into that speech?
So much. It's one of the hardest things I've had to prepare for, because you just have you have a limited amount of time, and yet you've got this entire, not just career, but life. I mean, you become so reflective over the last, 8 months, ever since they announced that Hall of Fame. And it's like, how can I possibly convey all of my gratitude and appreciation and thank all the people I want to thank in the amount of time that you're given? Really, it's like you're writing a book, and then you have to condense the book down into, they tell you 8 to 10 minutes. I was about twice that.
Yeah.
But you want to do it in a way too that, like, look, you recognize a lot of the people that are in the stands are sitting out in the hot, humid sun for 2.5 hours. So you're trying to entertain them a little bit, with stories and, some laughter. But of course the emotions are going to come out, and you just want to properly convey that to all the people that were such an important part of the journey.
Again, you've done it all, but I got to ask, do you start getting nervous about that? Do you feel the nerves? So much prep, such a big moment. Does it get nerve-wracking for you?
Yeah, definitely. But honestly, I would say, look, that Hall of Fame experience it's all the time leading up to it and the anticipation, but then, you're in Canton for 5 days, and there's all these unbelievable things that you're doing. And a lot of it, I think they intentionally keep a surprise from you so that they get your, authentic reaction and emotion to it. Starting with, there's a toast in the bus gallery on Thursday night, during that week. And I remember walking in that room, and of course it's already, just an epic experience with all the busts lit up, but it's kind of that dim feel. And then all the Hall of Famers are in there. And here's Mean Joe Green and Willie Lanier toasting us all. And then I reach over and I'm clinking glasses with Lawrence Taylor. And I'm like, dude, where am I? Right? Like, I just got transported to this unbelievable place. And then the gold jacket dinner, when you kind of walk through the aisle of guys and they're welcoming you into the Hall of Fame. And Joe Montana, who was a childhood idol of mine, is putting on my gold jacket. And all that leads up to the enshrinement. And then finally, it's like the party that night. You can just kind of relax and cut loose.
I've been covering this league since 1987.
The Boston Red Sox have retied their game at Miami 2-2, top of the eighth, scoring on a wild pitch. Meanwhile, Detroit has lost 5 in a row, and they're losing at home tonight. 4-1 Tampa Bay over the Tigers in the bottom of the eighth, that game on FS1. The Rockies have the worst record in the major leagues. In D.C., it's Nationals 8-2 over Colorado, top of the seventh. And the Rangers are ahead at the White Sox, 5-2, bottom of the third inning. White Sox do have bases loaded, 2 outs. Chicago first place in the AL Central. Central. Rangers tied for first in the AL West with idle Houston. Houston fired general manager Dana Brown. The Cleveland Browns named Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. Raiders running back Ashton Genty missed practice after yesterday's sprained ankle. And Cardinals first-round running back Jeremiah Love still out this week with a high ankle sprain. 2 WNBA games going on this evening. I'm Steve DeSager.
One more hour number 3 on a Magic City Monday for the boys. Kelvin Washington, also Ephraim Salaam, who's in for Rob Parker. Rob enjoying some vacay. You know, he's been traveling and going crazy over the last few weeks, so hopefully he's enjoying himself. Appreciate you being in this next couple days, right?
Yeah.
Next couple days with E. On the way, last call, a little bit later on this hour. Also, somebody has – if I could just, I really like him, but it's like pump the brakes just a little bit. Tell you what that is a little bit later on as well. And be sure to check out the YouTube channel. We're on there now. Elijah's got us looking good. Per usual, just search Odd Couple FSR. Find us there. Hit subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Comment away. We appreciate it as always. Rob G, any YouTubians, any odd mob comments in there?
Yeah, a lot of people hate Ephraim, but that's par for the course.
Really?
Whoa,
Yeah,
no, whoa.
Really?
Oh, God, not Ephraim. Get him out of here.
Dang.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I didn't know Rob Parker was on the YouTube.
And then there's somebody else who's like an opposite, who's like a huge fan and just says, Mr. E, you should add psychologist/psychiatrist to your resume.
Thank you.
You're the only talk show host that gets it.
Well,
what do you get today? What did you get today?
Hey, man.
You got it all?
Oh.
Stop it.
Voice of the people, man. Yeah, I don't know why y'all
All right.
be trying to
all right.
front,
Chris,
man.
cut his mic off. Okay.
Dang.
How you be the voice of the people when you can't go on Space Mountain at Disneyland?
What does that have to do with it?
Because that's where the people are.
That's a good point.
But I can talk to them when they get off.
Like, oh, what'd you think about it? No, I haven't.
First of all, you can't talk on Space Mountain.
Yes, you can. How do you know?
I've been on Space
You
Mountain
have
before.
never been at Space Mountain.
I have.
You are 11 feet tall.
You know what you remind me of? You might be one of the few people, former athletes, and I don't say like obviously there's thousands upon thousands if you take all the sports over the years, but just you seem like a person who you're ordering, I see Starbucks over there, and you're like, hey, Ephraim, man, I used to watch you play, and I love you on the TV, whatever, that you would like enjoy the conversation. Some people, okay.
No, I do this job, and I've been doing it for so long because I love, number one, I love sports, and number two, I love to talk about it. I love to talk about, with you or with, the guy who's waiting for his Frappuccino or, the young woman who is, walking her dog. It's just, like I said, the voice of the people.
Rob G, I'll give him that. He really does love to talk sports.
Yeah, he told me he wanted to chat with someone in a trailer park in Ohio. That he said he had some thoughts.
Has some thoughts. Well, let's talk
charge,
about a fastball.
Yeah, about $1.40 an hour.
Right.
If you want to have a conversation.
$1.40 an hour for a trailer.
I'm not about to get you back on that.
I can't even.
I know you can't.
Can't.
I was trying to go get water, Rob G. He can't. But Kelvin, you're a billionaire. I'm like, okay, let me get some water.
It's so perplexing to me that that's even an idea.
A possibility.
That like,
hey, everybody got choices, right?
Everybody
got choices.
As you like to
absolutely
say. Shout out
right.
to E40, too, by the way. All right, Rob G, let's get into this. The Odd Couple listeners have heard me and Rob go back at this a couple of times, so it'll be interesting to get your point on this, Ephraim. But college coaches and the idea of some of their players going back from the pros back to college.
Yeah, this is something we talked about last week, and even on the Dan Patrick Show, we filled in on Friday. It was great. Robert Smith came on, Ohio State legend, had some good thoughts on that.
Oh, you went to the Dan Patrick Show too?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Some people,
You got your own show, but all right.
It's okay.
What'd you say?
Go do
Fox
somebody
Sports,
else.
everybody got choices?
Everybody got choices.
Everybody got choices.
You should have heard Rob when he found out it was Ephraim and Martin. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, you what he said. He was mad. Rob G snitching, but you'd be mad.
He was mad?
He was
Yeah.
mad.
He was
Why?
taken aback.
Because it's not the odd couple when it's like that. Oh,
He was
God.
like, and I'll be on vacation. Matter of fact, Rob G, who's in next week? And he was like, oh, Martin and Ephraim. Huh?
Yeah.
Martin and Ephraim.
Well, that hun wasn't for me. I can tell you that.
Rob G, they're not going to do the show the way we do it, with the 97 calls and no yelling on with them.
Which, by the way, we got to get a call in today.
Nah.
No, we got to get a call.
I don't like
One
calls.
call.
We got to get one call, Rob.
One call.
Why?
What did I tell you, Ephraim? What did I tell you about Rob G this
One
week? I
call.
said, boy, Rob G.
I'm
about
so
that
happy.
week in his life.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get a call.
I
We got to
hate
do
these
last
callers.
call. Can you imagine
Steve
Andre
DeSago
in
will be the last call.
Massachusetts right now?
But anyways, we were talking about this last week. Right? Remember, there's a lot of legal loopholes that are allowing players who had been on NFL rosters to go back and play in college. Well, this week we had the first where a player requested his own release from the Cleveland Browns. His name is Daquan. I had it here for a second and I lost it.
Phonetically, huh?
Whatever. Anyway,
Get it phonetically.
I lost the link here, but he's going back from Cleveland. He requested release. He was released. He's going to go play with Lane Kiffin at the LSU Tigers. And Lane Kiffin was asked about it. Ryan Day from Ohio State was asked about it. And they both had very interesting responses to this growing trend in college sports. Here's both of them.
Daquan Wright.
Daquan Wright, thank you. Back to back.
We have, made a decision to recruit some kids around the country. And, through these multiple injunctions around the country, which this is not a first time, they've been in college sports for a while, a group of players were granted a 5th year of eligibility around the country in multiple sports. And through them winning their injunction and entry into the portal, they're available to recruit. And so ourselves, like many places around the country, are recruiting them. And at the end of the day, because of these rulings, they're either going to play for you or they're going to play somewhere else around the country. So we've made a decision to recruit them, like probably most people are.
I told myself I would stop saying that this is crazy because it's just, if there are teams that have some players out there who are cut from NFL rosters that are going to be on other teams, we have to at least consider it and look at it. Do I like anything about it? Absolutely not. But we got to do what's right for Ohio State. We were in a meeting and someone says, LSU just got a commitment from the Browns tight end. I said, we are certainly in a different world right now.
He ain't wrong, Ephraim. We are in a different world. I'll start by being clear because you may not have heard when Rob and I got into this. I'm not a fan of it. I understand the 5th rule, because there's kind of two different cases, right? There's one, they just let them go back. And then the other was specifically for the 2022 kids that were promised a 5th year, blah, blah, blah. My whole thing is I said I liked when you were playing, if you committed to the draft, that was it. You couldn't go back. And then they changed it to, well, as long as you don't get into the draft portion, whatever the timeline was, if you put your name in the hat, but if you realize you're not going to go as high, you can come on back. I thought that was fair. I don't like the idea. If you out here getting a training camp with pros, pro everything, pro coaching, pro nutritionist, pro the whole lifestyle, and then it doesn't work out, you get to just go back to college and hang out in the dorm room with your son in a couple of years. Like, what? That's crazy. And so I'm not a fan of that. At some point, we got to throw the whole – first of all, we already know college isn't college at this point. Everybody's getting paid, and so the idea of payment, they're pro by in that factor. But I do think, Ephraim, sometimes we overstate the idea as if every single college football player is going pro. Some of these dudes will be sitting right here or trying to produce a show.
The majority of.
The vast majority. So my point is.
An overwhelming majority.
Exactly. So we act like all of them are pros, and not just from the sense that they're being paid. Everybody ain't being paid. We act like, you know what I mean? The upper percent is everybody. Everyone's not being paid. Every school doesn't have money. We talk about, yes, the upper echelon schools, but that ain't everybody. And the idea now that these bigger, stronger, and I done had a whole offseason with pro trainers, all this, and I get to come back and beat up on your son, not just you, but anybody. It's like what are we doing here? So that was my original take on just the idea of going back. Now let me get to these coaches. They cracked me up, Ephraim, when, it's 6 years in college basketball. Because of COVID and some of these guys are 6 years and some of them 23, 24. And then the coach is Dusty May, go blue. I'm born and raised in Ann Arbor. But, man, it's just, I just hate to do it, I don't even want to do it, man. It's so hard making me twist. They twist. They twisted my arm. National championship. And then you leave. My point is you hear these coaches, right? Oh, man, it's just crazy. I don't even want. You don't have to do it. Now, I know Makes it harder. You might not win all the time. Your record might be you're competing against better. I get that. But the idea, they act like they have to do it, Ephraim. Like, oh, well, it's just if I don't. Like, you don't have to, and you can try to prove a point, and you can try to prove it in my system, my way. I don't need that. I can do this, and I get it. If somebody's listening right now and say, well, they're going to lose or they can't compete. My point is they keep acting like as if it's so against their morale and against my essence and my being and my ethos. But I'm going to do it anyway. And so I'm just not a fan of that. I'd rather them just be like, hey, man, we trying to win, than to act like giving me the whole, oh, it's just so painful to do. It's the worst thing ever. But they know they're about to do it, Ephraim.
The reason they're talking like that is because they're against it because it goes against the norms. It goes against the history. It goes against what amateur sports was.
Big heavy on the was.
Now, the reason things like this are now popping up is happening a lot in the NBA as well. Guys have been on G League teams and going back to college. The
that was
whole
our original
LSU basketball
like a year
team
ago.
Played pro either overseas or in little small stints in the NBA or what have you, or the G League. This is the genesis of the problem. Players used to forego their eligibility to go to the league.
Mm-hmm.
I forego my senior year, junior year, whatever, to enter the draft. And the reason they had to do that, they had to give up their eligibility, is because once you start making money, you're no longer an amateur. Mm-hmm. Now, what happened is a couple years ago, there is no more amateur sports in college. So now the money is now dictating the rule, because you can now make money, right, in college, in the pros, whatever. Most NIL guys are making more than, pro players.
Facts.
So because that was stripped away, now there's nothing binding you to college and pros. Now, this young man wasn't drafted. He didn't play in any preseason games. He was on their roster. I think he was somewhere else, either New England or somewhere, and then he got cut, and then Cleveland brought him in. And I think he may be fighting for one last year of eligibility. If you reached out to a college coach and said, hey, if I don't make the NFL and I have 1 year of eligibility left, I was with you at Ole Miss, can I come and play? And when you pay me, and they say, yeah, we'll give you, $500,000, whatever it is, you can absolutely come. As a player, here's now an opportunity, right? So say he goes back and say he leads the nation in receiving at the tight end spot. Okay. You think he'll be a draft pick next year?
Yeah.
So was it worth it?
For him, yeah.
He was undrafted.
Yeah.
Right? He got an opportunity to see what it's like. He went back to school. Mind you, he wasn't on an NFL roster. And I want to make that clear. Guys in training camp they are not on NFL rosters.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 weeks, the Tuesday before the Wednesday opening day, that's when NFL rosters have to be solidified. If you're on the roster that Tuesday, then you are now on an NFL roster, not on a scout team. Scout team players are not on the roster as well. It's 53 people on an active NFL roster.
But why? At what point?
Now, that's what I'm saying. If you make a 53-man roster, then I don't think you should be able to go back to college. But if you never make a 53-man roster and have the ability to play in an actual game, why not?
So when does that end, though, Ephraim? What if I do that, I go away, I go do this, do that, sell insurance, whatever, and you pop back up, now you're 25, 26, 27, and you're like,
I got an answer. The new NCAA rule that takes into effect next year eradicates that. You get 5 years, buddy. That's all you get. And they start. The clock doesn't start. There's no red shirt. There's no any of that. You get 5 years. right? You come out of high school, you don't play that first year, you got 4 more to go. You don't crack the starting lineup and play, you got 3 more to go, right? You don't play your 3rd year, you got 2 more to go. You finally get in a little bit, you got 1 more to do what you need to do, and then that's it. If you leave after any of those, like say if you leave after your 4th year and you're bouncing around on practice squads, you can't come back because you don't have another year of eligibility. So you won't have a lot of 25, 26-year-olds because you only get 5 years from the moment you graduate high school. That's it.
That makes sense to me.
So that'll be eradicated. What you're getting ready to say, and I get it.
Yeah.
That's going to be eradicated with the new rule of 5 years only. No more red shirts, no more hardships. You get 5 years of college sports, and it starts when you're out of high school. At 19.
Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. But the other side of this, too, by the way, is the opposite end of it. So you got people going to the pros, training camps, trying to make a team, doesn't work out, come back. Why do I have to wait a year? Dude, why can't go straight out of high school? I'm obviously physically, but I'm just saying, why can't that? Shouldn't there be that other end of it?
No. A 17-year-old playing against.
Fine, 1 year. Leonard Fournette, 1 year.
Listen to what I'm going to tell you right now. My first game in the NFL, and I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I was 22 years old. My first game, opening day, was against Kevin Green.
Ooh.
If I was 17 going against Kevin Green, what would that look like? Now, mind you, I graduated high school at 16. So I could have quite possibly been 17 if I would have just 1 year of college and then went right into the pros. Physically, because football is a physically demanding sport, you have to be removed from high school for 3 years.
I'm not disagreeing with the physicality. I'm more on the option, meaning what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning I'm Leonard Fournette. I play a year. I'm Maurice Corrette, big. Like
what happened to them?
No, you're going to the end result. I'm saying why can't that be? Is what all I'm saying. Like why then can't it? If it's open, it's open. Is my point. If I can come back, if I can go, why can't I be able to do what I want to do? Is all I'm
Jesse Tuggle going against an 18-year-old running back is. You can be paralyzed. That's why. Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett going against a 19-year-old offensive tackle.
Miles Garrett looked like that in high school.
This is what I'm telling you. You got Miles Garrett, arguably one of the greatest defensive ends ever, who's now in his prime, his grown man strength prime, going against a 19-year-old kid who did 1 year of high school. I mean, you're going to get someone hurt.
I don't disagree with the specific position you keep naming.
But you have to all positions though. It has to be a blanket. Right. You can't be like, well, if you're a receiver, you get to go, and then be a DB. No. It has to be because that's the way you protect yourself. Brother, the NFL is hard and it hurts.
Listen, I'm not questioning.
This ain't the NBA.
We all get the physicality. I'm not even denying it. I'm more or less based off the principle of free market, like meaning, hey, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. If you want to go, if you want to go, and somebody wants to draft you, and they don't because maybe they don't draft you because based off what you're saying, look at this kid, he's too skinny, he ain't did that, and maybe they don't. But the idea that I can't go is all I'm saying. Is it should almost just be if you want to go and you feel like
you could be paralyzed on the other end of that one. It's not the NBA. NBA, you go out there, you could be Cooper Flagg and be Rookie of the Year and drop a couple 50-point games at 18.
You could be paralyzed
19. Yeah, but what I'm telling
year
you,
8 in
your
the NFL.
body.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm disagreeing with the idea that at this point it should just be free market, do whatever you want. At this point,
can't be free market, do whatever you want.
I can come back.
The league has to protect itself from lawsuits.
Do they?
Yes.
Do they?
Yes.
Literally, do they now?
Yes.
You get sued every other week about
But what I'm telling you is that is not anything to play with. If I'm 19 years old, and I was young, I was the youngest player to ever start in the Super Bowl at 22.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm 19 years old going against Leslie Neal, and these are grown straight hands.
But I feel like Julio Jones could, if he wanted to, That should have been his option. I'm just saying from a free market, if this is where we are now, you can do what you want. You can go try out here. You can come back. You can go back if you don't want to do this. You can go to this team.
No, the free
then
market.
I'm just saying there should be some receivers out here that be like, hey, man.
So it should just be receivers and DBs.
No, it should be anybody. I'm agreeing with you that those are the more likely positions.
Because you're saying anybody, it can't be anyone.
But no, anybody should have the right. As a GM, am going to say I'm not about to take this.
No, they may will. But what I'm telling you is because you're saying it should be anybody, it can't be anybody.
But I'm saying if anybody can do this and try to go be a pro and come back, then why can't anybody say, hey, I think I'm good enough? What do you mean of age?
They're of age.
I'm of age. I'm out here balling out after a year or two. Why can't I go try to be a pro?
Man. This argument,
I don't disagree with the physicality.
This argument always happens like this. Like, have you ever been hit by a truck?
I don't want to, but they signed up to be hit by trucks.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, whether you're a stunt man or not, sometimes a truck hurts.
Ephraim, you're going with a possible result. I'm going with
a possible reality.
I'm saying
not a result, a reality.
Open, all I'm saying is if everything is open,
look at us
then
doing the
everything should
odd
be
couple
open.
thing. Look at us doing the odd couple.
I like that.
You're the Brock Parker in this argument, though.
Dang, don't
Bam!
like
look at that. Look what just happened. He was just like
USC. Chris dumped the whole set.
He was just like, oh Lord.
All right, man. It's the Jakob.
I ain't got a 20-minute dump. I got a 20-second dump.
Dang, man. I'm saying, from you, if it's free market, it's free market. That's all I'm saying.
What is free?
I will
Pain,
argue
suffering.
It's the Odd Couple. Now, it is the Odd Couple on a Magic City Monday. Stick with your boys, Fox Sports Radio. By the way, if you work in logistics, you know one thing: nothing moves without you. And right now, companies everywhere are looking for skilled people who can keep their supply chains running strong. Find your next job through Express Employment Professionals. At Express Employment Professionals, logistics isn't just another career field. It is a specialty. And from warehouse associates and forklift operators to shipping and receiving, CDL drivers, inventory coordinators, and more. Express connects you with the roles that keep businesses moving. So go to expresspros.com to find a location near you. Give them a call, and whether you need to get your foot in the door with a contract role or looking for full-time work, Express finds you a job where skills fit and your experience matters. And the best part is, with Express, there are never any fees for job seekers. So if you are ready for your next shift, your next challenge, or your next big move, let Express help you find the logistic job that fits you. So visit expresspros.com today. Stop searching alone. Get support, get options, and get to work.
Hey, man, America's team back in the news again. Like they never left.
Oh, exactly.
Like
they
never left. Now, even though the Cowboys have not even played in an NFC Championship game since they won the Super Bowl in 1996, that doesn't stop them from talking about the Super Bowl every chance we get. We mentioned it the last, 2-3 weeks on this show. Dak Prescott saying stuff. Jerry Jones is saying stuff. Well, now, Troy Aikman jumped on a podcast recently, and he explained why he thinks the drought has been so long. Take a listen.
It all does start at the top, good or bad. I think starts at the top. I don't think Jerry would shy away from that. I think Jerry would certainly take responsibility. He'll take accountability if and when they win, and I think then you have to take responsibility when it hasn't worked out, and it hasn't worked out. I think the interesting thing is I've heard Jerry say that the reason he hasn't hired a general manager is because there are no guarantees, and no one can guarantee him that making a change at GM and replacing himself would guarantee that they would be any better. But if that's your philosophy, well, then you would never fire the head coach either. You would never make any changes because there are no guarantees whatsoever.
Exactly.
But they've been going down this road for so long, and yet it hasn't translated into success in January, and there has to be a reason for that.
All right, this is Troy Aikman, and now he was wondering why Jerry never asked him to get involved with the Cowboys. Because this is a lazy take, Troy Aikman. I get it. Jerry Jones should have turned over this football program to football people a long time ago. I'm with you. But to just say that it's all Jerry Jones' fault doesn't make sense. Because guess what? There's a guy in their front office named Will McClay who has done a great job in helping them draft, whatnot. They draft well. They get good players. As a GM and football players, they've been pretty good. And Troy Aikman, if it's all about Jerry Jones and how lousy he is, how in the world can you help me, Troy Aikman, or are you too busy counting money? Can you help me?
He do got the bread.
They won 12 games in 2021, 2022, and 2023. 12 games. So it ain't like they don't have players to win games. They've won games. Have they failed in the postseason? Absolutely. Maybe they haven't had the right coach. Maybe I'll give you that. But to just sit there and basically think that it's all Jerry Jones, how do you win 12 games and put together that kind of talent and win the NFC East division a few times? They've had double-digit wins in 5 of their last 9 years. It ain't like they've always been also-rans or they're never in the mix. Now, I'll give you the postseason. It's been a long time. Yes, Moby Dick was a guppy the last time they were in the NFC Championship game. That drought is ridiculous. I'll give you that, Troy. But to just make the blanket statement that Jerry's at the top and it's all Jerry's fault, maybe some of these coaches weren't able to make it happen. Maybe the players, when it came time to the big stage, weren't able to make plays. And maybe Dak Prescott isn't going to win you a Super Bowl because he isn't that quarterback when you really need him. But it's hard to argue about some of the numbers. Go find me other teams that have won 12 games or more 3 years in a row. I'll wait. Because it ain't many.
But here's the issue, Rob. Nobody's question is he a great owner and a great showman and a great guy for the NFL and the sport as a whole. I will completely agree with you. I think he's been exactly what the NFL needs as far as just, keeping it moving forward and growing the game and all the cheerleaders and all blah, blah, just all this stuff. 100% agree with that. But I think where Troy was saying is you have guys, you have players, you had coaches in Jimmy Johnson, you had a team, and he wasn't, I want the credit. He's even admitted, I want my hands on, I want my fingerprints all over this, and that to me sometimes has backfired against him. Will he sign guys? Yes. Will he pay the bag to many players? Yes. Problem is, as the GM, Jerry Jones, he signs guys too late. He'll wait. Make them franchise for a year.
All that is good, but give me the... You're good enough to win, talent enough to win 12 games during the regular season in the division, so you can't say it's all Jerry because he's put together the pieces.
But I don't think anything is all anybody when you got to have 53 guys on the team. You got to have a coach. You got to have a general manager, offensive coordinator. I get that. But what I'm saying is throughout the last 30 years, 31 now, since they went to the NFC Championship game, there's been one constant. They've had new coaches. They've had new quarterbacks. They've had new players. They've had defensive coordinators. The one constant has been Jerry Jones. USC Chris forgot what day it was?
Yeah. They're not playing this at Magic City, buddy.
Look at me. Look me in the eyes.
They're not playing this.
Do I look like someone who has ever been to Magic City?
First of all, don't put Magic City in the box. You don't know who's showing up there.
You surely don't know who's showing up there. But this ain't it. I can tell you that.
No, I know that.
It's the
you know Mighty Mark. You know Mighty Mark, right? At the board up. Mighty Mark. About my height. He's from Chicago. He's filled in maybe a couple of times, right?
Look how low your hand was when you said my height.
Yeah, whatever. So anyways, he came in and he's like, oh, it's a Magic City. What's a Magic City? I'm like, oh, it's, strip club music. And then he's like, well, I don't know. I don't go to strip clubs. I'm like, well, just picture any song you could potentially get a lap dance to. And I could picture one of this song. You start getting further and further away, and it's like, yeah, I guess you could to Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit. I guess you could.
Again, what's the establishment?
In
Please welcome.
theory, yes.
That's right. Coming to stage, Sugar. Like you might, never mind.
Guys, girls, put your hands together for
I can say, like,
Sapphire.
Yeah.
Hometown Toledo, there's definitely a lot more AC/DC, I'm sure.
Yeah. That might be put some sugar on me. You could be. All right. On the other side, today, by the way, Ephraim, is 8/24. So Lakers honoring Kobe. Obviously, we're in Southern California, so some cool things happen around town. We'll talk about that on the other side. Right now, he is Steve DeSager, and he has your update.
Detroit Tigers have lost again.
Oh, man.
6 in a row. That game was on FS1 tonight. There was such a thing called the trade deadline.
There was.
Tampa Bay a winner at Detroit 4-1, and the winning pitcher Drew Rasmussen now 14-5. He went 6 innings to save to Brian Baker his 38th. Boston's Red Sox have taken the lead at Miami, and it's more Red Sox fans than Marlins fans there. Run in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. It's now 4-2. Top of the 9th, Boston in the lead on the road. In D.C., Nationals lead the Rockies 10-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Texas winning 7-2 at the White Sox in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Texas Rangers are tied for first in the AL West with idle Houston. Now each team is 65-66. Houston's at the Yankees on Tuesday. Yankees a second-place team in the AL East, now 3.5 behind Tampa Bay. Houston today parted ways with their general manager Dana Brown. His contract was nearly up. C.J. Abrams and the Nationals return to the lineup tonight after missing 4 games with a sprained ankle. Colorado placed pitcher Kyle Freeland on the IL. Mariners shortstop Colt Emerson will have wrist surgery on Wednesday. Among the late games, 6 of them about to start in the majors. San Diego is hosting Pittsburgh, and it's the Cubs at Arizona. The Arizona Diamondbacks 2 games behind San Diego for the last NL wildcard spot. The Cleveland Browns named Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. Raiders running back Ashton Genty missed practice after yesterday's sprained ankle. Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors took part in team drills without the non-contact jersey now. He's coming back from a torn ACL last year. Wide receiver Puka Nacua of the Rams missed practice again with his groin injury. He worked on a side field. Running back Breece Hall of the Jets is still out with his groin injury. He did agility drills on the side at practice today. Eagles first-round wide receiver Mekhi Lemon returned to full practice after injuring his hamstring 3 weeks ago. Baltimore center Danny Pinter out for the year. New Orleans signed kicker Daniel Carlson. The Texans acquired wide receiver Kayshon Boutte from New England for safety Jalen Reed. And to the NBA, Portland Trailblazers guard Shaedon Sharpe will reportedly miss 6 months with a torn meniscus. Late third quarter WNBA, Golden State leading at Minnesota 52-44. Minnesota's won 6 straight. Back to you.
Steve, thank you, man. Have a great night. Odd couple.
Thanks,
Kelvin
Steve.
Washington, Ephraim Salaam here on a Magic City Monday. Last call coming up in a little bit. We will open up the phone lines for last call.
Okay.
Right? Dang it, we're doing that. Okay, Rob G. Look, don't act like you didn't hear me. He don't want to look at me right now. Taking some calls here, Ephraim, man. Shout out to Kevin Culver City, who probably will be the last call. 8:24 today, Mamba Day. Here in Southern California, probably about an hour away. It's 6:34 out here, and the reason I bring that up is because Santa Monica went there yesterday to the beach, a little further out, and but the pier there, they're gonna light it up a couple different ways, like a LA 8, LA 24, and do a whole purple and gold thing. And but just what 824 means around here. You obviously being a Laker fan, just the legacy that's left here. What are we now? 6 years later, right? I know. That was rough, man. And last point before you kind of go there, one of the things that's interesting is the family doesn't want everybody to dwell on the actual day that it happened. They most of the time the anniversary of a tragedy, if you will. They want everybody to more focus on the 824. Focus on that or
the
also
joy of Kobe.
joy or 224, which was Gianna's number 2,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously his at 24. And by the way, late great. We shared the same birthday, Kobe and I, yesterday, 8/23, August 23rd.
Man, I love Kobe Bryant's, by far one of my favorite players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a diehard Laker fan. So, growing up in the era of watching Magic and Kareem and the Laker greats, Worthy, B. Scott, Michael Cooper, Mitch Kupchak, right? And earlier, before that, Uncle Bob McAdoo. It just, it's in my blood through and through. And so then get a Kobe, and then to get a Kobe and a Shaq, or get a Shaq and then get a Kobe, and have Kobe and Shaq and have that success, and then Kobe and Powell and that team. If you look at that team, there's no way that team should have, won a championship like that. Like when you look at them, they didn't have any All NBA players, anything like that. And it's just the drive and the determination and the desire to win, led by Kobe Bryant. And you don't have players like that in the league nowadays.
Why? What's missing? You know what I mean? Because somebody young might go, man, what you mean? I'm playing hard. I'm doing this.
I'll tell you this. Michael Jordan learned to play from, all-time greats, right? When you look at what the Celtics dynasty and all of that. And then
maybe even college, Dean Smith.
Yeah. Michael Jordan came into the league and became this thing. And then that gave birth to a new generation of athletes, right? So then a Kobe Bryant comes into the league after emulating, Michael to the point of taking on his own demeanor.
I mean, walking, talking, chewing gum like him.
Right? Everything. But the way he approached the game and the level of effort that he expected from teammates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we live we're currently in an AAU environment. Now, AAU's been around for a long time. I played AAU when I was younger. It's different now. All of the guys in the league, or the younger guys coming into the league, either played on the same team or played against each other all through their youth.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a relationship there. There isn't hatred, and there isn't a desire to embarrass someone or to be the greatest. When you ask players now, I remember they asked Anthony Edwards, how do you feel about being the face of the league? And I don't want that. What? Right? What? It's also an influx of international players. Some of our top players and top MVP candidates are not born here in America, right? So when you ask where are the Kobes, Kobe is one of those players that nothing else mattered.
Yeah, maniacal in his approach.
It wasn't about building your brand on Instagram or building your brand.
Twitch.
Or Twitch or live streaming. It wasn't about that. It was about finding a way to demoralize your opponent and to win a championship. It wasn't about the ancillary. While guys are streaming and tweeting and doing all of that, or burner accounts, Kobe Bryant was in the gym. You'll hear countless stories of it's 4:30 in the morning, Kobe's got his second workout in. And where are those guys? No, well, there's brands to be built.
Mm-hmm.
There's money to be. These guys will make more money than Kobe Bryant ever imagined making in basketball.
Well, James Harden now over $500 million.
This is what we're talking about, right? And so, as good as James Harden has been, and what you can't even put him in almost the same category as Kobe. You know why? Kobe learned, in order to be truly great, truly considered great, you had to play on both ends of the court. You had to play offense and you had to play defense. And you had to play it at a high level where you could be first team All NBA, first team All Defense.
To add to your point, I just saw a video of him and T-Mac. Maybe it was like 03-ish.
Yeah.
Before just going. I mean, at the end, they both had 38 going bucket for bucket going. But guess what? A lot of times, not every time, because sometimes you can't control the possession, but they're locking each other up, or at least attempting to. And I missed that era where you saw Joe Dumars say, I got Jordan. Jordan got Joe. Clyde and Jordan going at it. Paul Pierce and LeBron going at it, and then Kobe and LeBron. I missed that era. Now we hide everybody.
Yeah, you don't
put him over there, put Luke over there,
Nobody plays both ends of the court.
And I just remember, there's a few people, but they don't. But the stars don't have to check the other stars.
Be that.
Patrick Ewing knew. Let me lace these boots up. David Robinson in town.
That's what it was.
Hakeem in town. Shaq in town. I missed that.
Going to put Enes Kanter in the game to start to guard. Like, it wasn't happening.
Yeah, you didn't hide.
No,
as much.
you got to go at him, man. Yeah. Now it's like, well, he didn't foul.
Yeah, and Loeb, he was on the game. He didn't play. He was on the back-to-back.
Yao Ming and Shaq guarded each other.
Yep, 100%. And I do miss that. And last thing I'll say, too, just with A24 and Kobe, one of the things that I'm living here now which is crazy, almost to the date, 15 years, which is wild for me. I think of maybe a Derek Jeter. I think of maybe MJ to Chicago. But when I think of people like a star to a city, I struggle to find, someone who means more. An individual player, not a season, not a team, the 86 Mets, and just a singular player that might – and, again, I do think passing – adds to that.
Of course.
I don't want to be naive to that. When you
but
you lose an artist, an entertainer, a family member, an athlete, that adds to it. It becomes revered because you no longer revered. You have to only remember what you had.
My son is 12.
Yeah.
His favorite player of all time is Kobe Bryant. All he does is watch
prime.
Kobe Bryant clips.
Yep.
So his number is 24 because of Kobe Bryant.
Iverson and Philly. I'm trying to think of, is there any other?
It would be Jordan in Chicago.
That's Chicago.
It.
That's
Bird in Boston.
Yeah, just someone who's so beloved, obviously, in that particular time.
Magic.
Listen, I asked him once. I said, Magic, you could win the mayoral race here if you ran for mayor. And he's like, I don't want to do that. No politics with me. I just love to help people. It's showtime. But I was like, I really asked him that. Because he was just I'm like, because to your point, the passing of Vince Scully, Rob G, you've been here your whole life. There's no one, again, obviously, we put Kobe aside, he's no longer with us, but Magic Johnson is the most popular person in LA, including the celeb, like most beloved, I should say.
Of course.
I mean,
Magic?
If you don't live here, trust me, people, I'm talking, if he ran for mayor, he would have no opponent. Who would?
Magic,
I'm not going up against that. But never mind, just hear it, man. You got it.
Johnson.
You got it. And I asked him that. He was just like, nah, Ethan, I'm not going to do politics. I just want to, help the city out, which he does. Amazing job of that, too. Shout out to Magic. All right, 824. Rest in peace, the late, great Kobe Bryant. Last call, 877. Yeah, Rob G. 877-99 on Fox. 877-99 on Fox. The phone lines are open. Let's see what we get.
Here we go.
Where you going? I'm going Kevin Culver City. Oh. It's only right. Okay. Dre, my bad, Dre. And the other Dre,
I'm going Dre.
My bad, Mace. I'm going Kevin Culver City. It's the Odd Couple on a Magic City Monday. Hit us up, Fox Sports Radio.
It's last call time on the Odd Couple. If you had a take and couldn't get in all show, here's your chance.
Your call's important to us.
Call us at 877-99 on Fox. Hurry up. Rob and Kelvin got to get out of here.
College football right around the corner. We had Robert Smith in hour 2. Check that out. We had a good conversation with him. A lot of off the field storylines going on in college football. And there is another one off the field that's kind of percolating, and it's not in a good way because Deion Sanders' Colorado Buffaloes, they were the new hotness 2023. They had higher ratings for their game against Oregon than the same day Notre Dame, Ohio State. And if you remember, Oregon beat the brakes off of Colorado. People didn't care. They wanted to see Coach Prime, Shador, Travis Hunter. Everybody was locked in. Well, Front Office Sports revealed that since that phenomenal 2023 season, it's been a ratings disaster. 67% drop in television interest in Colorado. And they're projecting with the team they have this season coming off the year they just had it's going to get even worse for Coach Prime and company.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see the ratings all of a sudden taking a jump back. They're spiking back to what they were, Rob. You know this. Anytime there's something, a novelty, right? There's a new guy, new coach, new thing.
New hotness,
for sure. So that absolutely makes sense to me. When you look at what he brought, when you got a guy and Travis Hunter coming all the way to Colorado, obviously his sons, who, by the way, had been on TV, been stars, and not to mention Coach Prime, too, already a star just naturally from his playing days and what he had been post-playing days. So the hype was there. And one of the things he does well is he has been a mentor and been kind of that unk to so many people that people love him in general. So they're going to show up, they're going to support, they're going to be there on the sideline, and it looks cool. Like when USC was thriving with Pete Carroll and you had Snoop and Will Ferrell and everybody hanging out on the sideline. So I do think an element of the fanfare will go away. You'll still get people because people love him. Certain rappers, certain entertainers, certain former athletes are going to come support their guy, period. But I look at it more like this. To me, this year is going to be big for him because I'm looking at it a first year, the improvement. They won one game the year before. They win 4. They were 1-11 the season before. Okay, they're 4-8 the next year. The second year with him, they're 9-4. They're 7-2 in the Big 12. And so you got something cooking. You're right. You got a Heisman Trophy winner as well. Your son played well, and both sons played well, but especially Shedeur. And then last year, which was year 3, Rob, 3-9. And so the question to me becomes, and now he was going through health stuff. He had a porta potty on the sideline because the man was dealing with prostate issues.
You're giving him a pass because of that?
Well, because if a coach is dealing with all of that,
no, I'm asking you. So
what I'm saying is,
you just saying that's the reason.
No,
that's
not singular the reason.
Well?
I'm saying if I'm the athletic director, I'm saying you just lost a bunch of talent. That happens. And then also you're dealing with major health implications. The man, I think it was prostate cancer, if I'm not mistaken. So my point is, this year is going to be a better test of, are you closer to the 9-win season or are you closer to the 3 last season? I think that's what this season.
But I don't even think there's really what expectations do they have? You think they're going to be closer to the 9-win season? I'm just saying.
You don't. That's what I'm saying. But you don't. I said closer, meaning you don't have to only win 3.
Okay, so say they win 3 games. Say they win 3 games. Should he be fired?
No. They're not firing him.
No, that's not what I asked you about what they're doing. I'm asking you, should he be, if they turn in another 3-win season, should he be fired at Colorado?
No, I think I would give him one more year. And I'll tell you why. Real quick, I'll answer your question why. For me, if I'm looking at it realistically at Colorado, what he has brought, the tickets I've sold, the fanfare, I got a Heisman Trophy winner eternally.
None of that Colorado. Come on, man.
That stuff does mean stuff when it comes to the fanfare of a team. And
that only means something when you're not winning and you have to come up with a reason to keep him around.
And I hadn't been winning. That's the point. And so I would give him one more season. And then we'll reassess after that. But as Colorado, I want to know again. That 9-win season, we had some great players we know. One was a high draft pick in Travis Hunter.
They've won one game against a ranked opponent in the time he's been there. So you keep talking about what they've done and the turnaround. They haven't beaten anybody. They won one game against a ranked opponent since Deion's been there.
If I'm 9-4, I can only beat in front of me. And I beat my conference. I was 7-2 in the Big 12 at that time.
I don't buy into it. And the whole notion that people showed up, it was just something to do. Nobody was really into Colorado football. Where's Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. walking around on the sidelines? Where's Lil Wayne with his concerts? All that's dried up because there's nothing there. If you really believe that there was something going on there, you wouldn't just abandon Deion like they have. They were there for themselves because it was a place to be seen at, not because they believed Deion Sanders had turned around the program or he was building something special to be a part of.
On a Magic City Monday. And appreciate you all rocking with us again. By the way, if you miss any of the pod, you can check it out wherever you get your podcast. Just search The Odd Couple. Rob G will have a best of, a full version as well. Like, share, subscribe, pass along, all that good stuff, man. We appreciate it, as always. All right. Told you we're going to open up the phone lines. Despite Rob G's dismay. Look at him right now. Mad about it. Thumbs down. Thumbs down. Let's get to it. It's now time for Last Call.
This is the Last Call.
Last Call.
Last call.
Go!
Last call time on the Odd Couple.
Last call. With the Odd Couple. Who we got?
We got Dre in Massachusetts. What up, Dre? You on the Odd Couple with Kelvin and E.
He cheated. He got you under.
I called it.
He hung up on Kev, I bet you. What's up, Dre?
How you doing? Thanks for taking the call. Listen, thank goodness Charlie Baker finally stepped in and added some common sense to college sports with the 5 years to do 4. So we don't have Van Wilder out there, 27, 28-year-olds, you know what I mean? I'm coming from the Cape, you know, the late, great Jim Belushi, you know what I mean? Well, what is he going to be out there playing college sports now, just refusing to graduate? So I don't agree with it. I can give a little bit of a nod because these guys are getting in just under the wire with this Cleveland Browns situation going back to LSU. But I think that's the straw that broke the camel's back. It's out of control. We're all in agreement the players deserve more than Chi-Chi Beans, what they were getting before. They deserve to be paid in a multi-billion-dollar industry. But the years of eligibility, the transfer portal, out of control. You got 5 years to do 4 years of eligibility. You get out of there 23, 24, and college sports can come back and reclaim some of its former glory. Thanks for taking the call.
Absolutely, Dre. Appreciate you.
That's right, Dre. We'll take more of these, too. Appreciate it, Dre. Getting robbed.
Whole show tomorrow going to be nothing but calls.
Nothing but calls. Rob G, do some exercises, do some push-ups. Get ready. Just to put a button on what he's talking about. Yeah, I mean, I do. When I brought up the idea of guys coming back older, 24, 5, 6, you brought, the idea they're going to be changing the rule next year, which is good. We can spend the next little minute and a half, 2 minutes we got arguing. I just don't get how you don't get what I'm saying. Free enterprise. I completely agree with you on the physicality. I think most people agree, but I'm saying it's my right. If I choose to say, hey man, I was balling out, I'm some stud receiver, 6'5", 220. I'm just.
You're a parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have young kids.
Yes, 9, 7, and 5.
But eventually, all girls,
mm-hmm.
they're going to all be teenagers. They'll all be a little bit older. And they're going to say, Dad, how come we can't do this? I should be able to do this. I should be able to do. I'm old enough to. And you're going to have the sentiment of, I'm protecting you from yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what's on the other end of that. And I do. And sometimes that's what leagues have to do. They have to protect players from themselves. So you should understand that a little bit better.
Nope. It was almost good. You almost sold me. I didn't like it.
How? How's that possible? It's going. The funny part is you're gonna have the conversation.
Oh, I'm gonna have the conversation.
And you're gonna think back
that
like, he was right.
But going to the point, 18 and up, I'm grown, right?
Your 18-year-old daughter is going to tell you something, and you're going to be like, absolutely not.
What I'm saying is, the same guy we talk about can go, I'm out of here. I did this college thing. I'm going pro. Don't work out. I'm just playing. Can I come back? Okay, come back. Why can't I, after playing a year or two, dip out if I choose to? Well, that's all I'm saying.
You can't go play basketball
the NFL,
or baseball.
Well, I can't do that in the NBA either, by the way.
Non-contact sports,
NBA,
be my guest.
NBA, why do I got to wait a year?
1 year.
What do you mean 1 year?
1 year, that's it.
Let me go do what I want to do. You don't have to draft me.
1 year.
You don't have to. No, free enterprise. If I can go, then let me go. If I can come back,
go play baseball. You can go on right now.
Oh, but baseball can go.
You go right now.
We'll argue about this tomorrow. It is The Odd Couple on a Magic City Monday. Right back at it tomorrow. Stick with your boys. Holla, Fox Sports Radio.